the full board of the Single Family Design Board for June 29th. And we are going to start with roll call.
Thank you. I will proceed with roll call. Chair Sherry,
Yes.
Vice Chair Moslahy,
Yes.
Board Member Graffiti,
Yes.
Board Member Rolfe,
Yes.
and Board Member Richards is absent. Thank you. We have quorum.
Thank you. We'll move on to public comment. Any member of the public may address the board for up to 2 minutes on a subject that is not scheduled on this agenda for a public discussion. Do we have anybody?
Thank you, Chair Sherry. At this time, I do not have any slips for general public comment, and we did not receive any written correspondence. At this time, I will check to see virtual attendance, and I do not see any hands raised for general public comment virtually. So at that, I will turn it back over to you, Chair Sherry.
Thank you. Approval of the minutes of the Single Family Design Board meeting of June 15th. I've reviewed it, and I have no comments, but we can run through it kind
Sure.
of quickly.
Yeah, and I was just going to say through the chair to the board that we do have hard copies of the draft minutes in front of you
right
if you want
in
to
front of
review
you,
those.
If you want to look at them really quick.
Thank you.
Feel free to jump in with a motion.
I think it's good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Katie?
Katie, do you have any comments? No? Okay.
I'll move to approve the minutes of the Single Family Design Review Board, June 15th.
I'll second.
Okay, we'll take roll call. Vice Chair Moslahy,
Yes.
Board Member Rolfe,
Yes.
Chair Sherry,
Yes.
Board Member Graffiti,
Yes.
motion passes.
Ratification of action taken on the consent calendar for today, June 29th.
Yeah, thank you, Chair Sherry. So we only had 2 items at consent today. These are posted on the full board agenda for today. I'm just going to read them out loud for the record. Item 1, 1269 Forella Road, was granted project design approval with conditions. Item 2, at 16 Alameda Padre Serra, was granted final approval with comments. And that is it.
Thank you. Any announcements?
If we could get a motion for
Oh, yeah, sorry.
ratification of those, and I have no announcements after that, so
Okay.
thanks.
I'll make a motion for the ratification for today's consent meeting.
I'll second that motion.
Great, we'll take a vote. Board Member Rolfe,
Yes.
Board Member Moslahy,
Yes.
Chair Sherry,
Yes.
Board Member Graffiti,
Yes.
motion passes.
No announcements, other than thank you, Joni, for the candy and encouragement for today's longish agenda. And
Actually, I did just want to make a note. I did notice that there's quite a lot of folks here today. I just wanted to let you guys know if we have lots of agenda items for today, 310, 350. I just want to make sure you're here for your time. So if you're here for item 3, that's not going to start until at least around 4:05. So you can go grab a cup of coffee in the meantime. But if you're here for 1712, then stay put. And that's it. Thanks.
And I'll just make an announcement that just to stay on track, because we don't have a lot of time in between agenda items, it's 30 minutes. Just if you agree with your fellow board members, just say I agree. If you have new or differing opinions or comments, feel free to make those. And then we'll maybe be able to stay on track that way. So moving on to item 1, which is 1712 La Suine Road. Would you like to read the project description?
Sure. Item 1, 1712 La Suine Road it's here for project design approval. This project is being reviewed with the new ordinance. Proposal for 125 square feet of first floor additions and a 442 square feet of second story additions to an existing 1347 square foot two-story residence. Another 129 square foot first story addition is proposed on the new converted garage. New retaining walls are proposed in the backyard and an extension of the existing deck. Removal of retaining walls and patio paving is proposed. A new pool is proposed in the backyard and expansion of driveway paving. The proposed total 3,340 square feet on a 13,203 square foot lot is 81% of the maximum required floor area ratio. The project qualifies for an exemption from further environmental review under Section 15301 for existing facilities of the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA guidelines. So again, the project's here for project design approval. Neighborhood compatibility findings, hillside finding, and grading and vegetation removal findings are required. And I did have staff comments on this one. I'm Sebastian.
Before you do that, there's no applicant. Are you the applicant for this agenda item? Oh, you're supposed to be up here.
So I just wanted to make some staff comment while the applicant's making their way to the dais here. There is a difference between the plans that we're going to be looking at today and to the ones that were posted on the agenda. There was an added detail sheet at the end of the project, and there were also 2 new sheets with additional material board details. I did review these items. There's only a slight difference in just the material and the architectural details. The massing, the square footage, and the placement of the proposals has not changed. So just wanted to note that slight difference in materials that we're going to be looking at on the laptop today. And just as another note, all the items on the agenda today are being reviewed with the new ordinance. So we're only looking at this for project design approval. It does not have to come back for final approval. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Your name for the record.
I'm Anthony Eckelberry, the architect. This is Bill Rosenberg, the owner.
Hi.
And, okay, so Bill and I have been we worked together for some decades. And this is his personal home.
Is your mic on?
Yeah, if you could turn on your microphone and just
Click
press.
on that.
It's the center button, yeah.
Beautiful, thank you.
Right. So, yeah, I've done a number of projects with Bill, but this one is for his own personal home. So we're taking extra care on having it be the best. Anyway, let me show you the existing. And so what we did add, so this is the house with existing 2-car garage. And here's the home. And then the existing house is 2-story. It's a little, okay, here we go. It's, I guess it's mostly stucco, but it has a bit of an English roof. And so we thought we would carry on with that English look. And so on the rendering, this part over here is a new addition, a new entryway, and then we're expanding upstairs because the place had a very small master bedroom kind of stuck in the eaves, in the rafters, I'm sorry. So a little bit of expansion to make it more livable, but we're maintaining the same style, same scale. The building's no higher, so it's just, I guess, treated as an improvement of the existing structure. The appearance, there's a new sheet, which is this, and then a color and material board, and then we've added a couple sheets of details of roofing and fencing and so on. So the color will be kind of a beigey color, and then with accents in a light brown, darker brown. The roof will be this simulated shake roof Da Vinci which is kind of a nice material. I mean, it actually looks pretty realistic. And the windows and doors are all going to be Colby, which is kind of a good brand, and they'll do make a custom color to match this. And the garage door is wood looking with some level of detail, and it also will be painted to match the windows and doors. The landscaping is, the front is basically not changing much, but in the back, right now there's just a great big motor court and a kind of a raised garden. So we're leveling off the backyard with the retaining wall. The retaining wall will be about 5 feet high in the back, and leveling it out to put in a pool and a little sitting area. On the garage side, it's eventually going to have a one-car garage and then an ADU. So we've added on a bit to the garage building. The ADU is not a part of the submittal because it'll be separate. And then the trees are, low water use and so on. So this shows the existing building with the existing garage, and then this retaining wall that snakes through, which we will be replacing with one larger one in the back. And then in terms of area, well, I guess that doesn't, this is for the Creeks people, but anyway, so we're changing some parts of the roof, but not dramatically. And then this shows we're doing an addition in the back. This is on the ground floor. And then when we get upstairs, we're changing the look with a gable end on the front facade. So looking at the change in the front facade, let me get back to that. Okay, here's the front facade. So right now it had just sort of one roof with windows and a deck. So we're putting in a gable end and then extending the terrace and putting a little trellis on either side of the upstairs deck. And then the one side will be more, we're adding on here on the driveway side, so it's a bit more three-dimensionally complex, I would say. More going on. And the garage will simply be done in Santa Barbara stone, so it'll look like the stone cottage, and then it'll be a guest house and or ADU rather, and garage. At the back of the building, this is the back. It's again, we're taking over part of this roof portion, which will not be visible from the street, converting it into living area upstairs. And the sections through the building. And then I guess I'll get to the detail sheets. Okay, and then for the AC condensers and for the pool heater, they're 5 feet away from the property line, and we picked them to be the maximum or the most quiet units available for that purpose. I think the neighbors expressed some concern, which is entirely appropriate. So these are very quiet units and set back from the property line. Detailing, we're doing the pool fence and the railings have the same pattern of wrought iron with like a double pattern painted to match, and the same colors of the project. And pretty simplified roof details. So I have a picture of what we're aiming for. which is the one in the corner, anyway. Yeah, this, okay. So this is sort of the general look and the general colors. And I believe that completes that.
Is that it?
Yeah.
All right.
I think I have 15 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So use 13. Anyway.
You didn't take up all your time. Thank you. We'll move on to public comment.
Thank you, Chair Sherry. I'll start with public comment, and for this I do have speaker slips, so if Julia Barnett could approach the podium. Julia, you will have 2 minutes to speak.
Hello. I am your neighbor to the west. Hello. So I just completed a massive remodel at 1720 LaSwain, and I went through an arduous process here. Something I had wanted to do was build an ADU, but my setback is only 9 feet, whereas apparently code is 15. I'm very curious how this garage and proposed extension would work, since it is essentially right on the lot line, I would say, with 0 setback. My concern is expanding, it's twofold. It's expanding that existing structure, which is on the lot line, and secondly, the placement of the pool in the back, and again, the noise created by the pool pumps, which would be right up by my little gazebo area. So, those are my questions.
This is just public,
Okay.
the time for you to speak,
Okay.
and it's not a time for us to respond, but
Okay.
we'll address some of the setback issues now that we know your concern when we ask questions of the applicant.
What is, am I correct that current setback is 15 feet from the lot line?
This is the time for you to speak.
Okay.
And then if you have questions, sometimes we try to ask the applicant the questions,
Okay.
try to be sensitive to your questions that you've
Okay.
asked in public comment, but
Okay.
it's not a back and forth right now.
Got it. So those are my concerns.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for your time, and very nice to meet you.
Thank you, Ms. Barnett. At this time, I do not have any further slips for this particular item, but we did receive written correspondence from Tiffany DeMarco and Julia Barnett, and I will turn my attention virtually. At this time, I do not have any hands raised, so I can turn it back over to you, Chair Sherry.
Thank you. Okay, questions from the board. Board Member Garfietti, questions?
I saw a note about a tree replacement. I think it was an olive. I just want to check, are there any trees being removed as part of the project, or? can you
Yeah, there are
speak to
2
that?
magnolias.
Okay.
And they're being replaced with olives.
Okay, great. And, let's see. Okay, so maybe I'll try to, I think there's a question from public comment that staff can maybe handle later, but the ADU's not under our purview. Are you expanding the footprint of the garage or just converting it?
We are expanding about 7 feet of it,
Okay,
and then towards, and that'll be in the garage side. The ADU will be a conversion of existing garage space
got it.
and no addition. Therefore, we don't have to obey a 4-foot setback that would have been required per state law.
Okay. And I had one more. Oh, just confirming, you mentioned the height. So the current height of the house is not changing at its highest point.
Correct.
Okay, and what's the current height?
25 feet.
25 feet. Okay. I think that's all my questions right now.
Thank you. Board Member Muslihi, questions?
Okay, sure. Okay, starting from the public comments, so the part that it's the 2-car garage in the proposed project, it's part of the scope of project.
We are adding on a little addition to the garage side, yes.
Okay, so now that we're speaking about that, can you go to the elevation that the garage, you have a sheet that shows the garage elevation?
Sure.
A122, one before.
So this is the side facing the street with
Okay.
the, and then this is the back, which is blank, and
I see. The set that we have is different, so I was seeing, it's not, the whole wall is not stone. So the stone,
Right,
okay.
that's
So you have
right.
changed that. I was gonna ask why you stopped the stone at a certain point, but you already have made that change.
correct, yeah,
Okay.
it looked better.
Yes, I
without-
agree.
Without stopping it, yeah.
I was gonna question that. Okay, can you go to the elevate, next sheet, that is the house elevations, please?
Okay,
Thank you.
sure.
Okay, so one question, the current house railing, is that wood currently?
I believe so, yes.
And the decision was to go to wrought iron, and can you take us through like the thought process, because you mentioned it's like an English cottage. What was the inspiration? And the inspiration image that you had, like kind of like, it was like, I think like wood more, so.
Railing,
Yes, the railing at the balcony.
stucco now,
Yeah.
it's not wood, it's stucco.
Oh, actually, there's no.
There's no is there railing?
Upstairs, yeah,
Yeah,
upstairs there's no railing,
it's
right?
it's an inset deck, and the
Oh,
front of it-
pardon me, if you could turn on your microphone there and speak into that, just so we can make sure everybody can hear you. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I don't know if you have a picture of it, but the deck is inset.
Here, can we see a picture of the existing house?
Yes,
Sure.
please. I think I saw wood railing. Yes.
I think the wood railing is down at the downstairs.
What is this railing there?
It's a wood railing down
Okay.
on the ground floor, correct?
So my question is, what was the thought process to decide on a wrought iron instead of wood? And is there anywhere else that, like, it's only on the front, in the front and upstairs as well, so?
And then, yeah, and then in the back, this fence around the back will be the same.
Okay,
So you're right that, yeah.
I'm just asking because
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
elevation, it's so prominent, so that I was gonna ask, like,
Yeah.
what relationship to the architectural style? What was why the decision was to go change the
Yeah.
wood to wrought iron?
I guess to make it less, well, to make it more see-through, I guess.
Okay.
To make it less,
I see.
less imposing visually.
I see. And if you go back to your elevation sheet, has the height of the overall height of the chimney changed?
No,
It seems like it's much higher in the proposed, but,
well, I assumed that it was 2 feet higher than the roof nearby, but maybe it might have been built differently, but
okay.
no, that's just graphic.
But intention is 2 feet above the,
Well, the intention is to just put stone on the existing,
okay.
so.
So the size of the chimney will stay the same and the height will stay the same, just the
correct.
materiality?
It's the same object, we're
Okay.
just gonna pretty it up a bit.
Okay, and now that we're on this elevation, on the west elevation, I mean, I saw on the 3D that there's that low slope that we're seeing. If you zoom into your elevation, I'm talking about the
which one?
slope.
Oh, okay, right, right.
Why the decision was to make that like a very different slope and,
Yeah, that, we needed space where we, yeah, let me.
it's
find
next
my-
one.
Wrong one, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was, what, probably by the.
Headroom in the stairwell.
So,
Yeah.
it's to create, yeah, there's a stairwell there, and it was, so I'm trying to make it not quite so obvious by adding this additional piece of gable end here,
Okay, I
and to
see.
not have it look like a, well, not too boxy, but the stairs and the headroom and the
I see.
getting up there was kind of a whole exercise of just getting upstairs. so-
Okay, I'll leave it to comments. Just, I was just curious. Okay, that was my question.
Okay. Board Member Rolfe, questions?
Yeah, so just to address the public comment, I assume that it's just an existing non-conforming setback for the garage, and then I see like a jog, and I assume that's the addition where it has to conform to the setback. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
yeah, that is correct. So
Okay.
yeah, it's a non-conforming garage. You're
Yeah.
allowed to do some measures of additions to non-conforming structures within existing setbacks,
Yeah.
but I believe because they were moving the garage spaces and moving around spaces, moving the garage door, it got a little complicated.
Yeah.
So hence the the jog to kind of maximize the amount of additions they could do for their later conversion permit. That's not under purview today, so
Okay,
they're
yeah.
just doing a plain
Yeah.
old addition. Yeah.
Right, right.
Uh-huh.
Just one question is for the addition that has the gable roof. Did you also, or I was just wondering why you consider that in lieu of a hip roof? So.
Well, we thought about it, well, actually it comes, Bill's wife is Swedish, and then part of the inspiration idea was these Danish farmhouses,
Yeah.
which have like this kind of cross roof, and it's kind of interesting with the gable end.
Yeah.
And so it kind of, and then I tried it with just a hip roof, and it looked kind of mousy.
Yeah.
So I just thought it would visually, and also it kind of harkens back to some of her heritage in the building. Not that anybody will ever think about it, but that was part of the intent.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, quick question. Is the only reason that you changed the slope of the roof on the new addition on the second story to, because it's not the same slope as the existing, and it's going to meet at a valley that has two different slopes, is the only reason you have different slopes in order to not raise the height of the overall building? Is that why you made a different slope?
Yeah, I mean, right.
Because that valley won't meet at a 45. It'll be an interesting framing situation there. And I was just wondering why you chose to do that, because it's not a it's not a drastic change in slope. It's just a very slight change in slope, and you do it in two locations. You do it on the two-story stacked wall, and you do it on the front second-story extension on the second level.
Well,
That one there.
Well, this one is simple, I mean, because this existing roof, and so it's going to fit into it like a dormer. But the one in back was, I'm trying not to make the building over height, and then I'm figuring that it's in the back. And although I think it looks, when the inhabitants will be there, one day I'll figure out how to do this. But so I thought it had at least some level of activity going on. But this roof here is the one you're talking about.
No, I'm talking about the one to the left of that.
Oh,
That one
here?
there, that slope is
Oh, I get what
distinctly
you. Oh, I'm
different.
sorry. You're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, this is 9 and 12 in the house. And this is 6 and 12.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I was just wondering why you broke from style.
Yeah, you weren't supposed to catch that, but anyway. It was to get it all in that box or
And
make it fit. But I don't think
ceiling height is, the maximum height is not just 25 feet, right? It's higher?
For the zone, it's 30 feet per zoning regulations, but in our SFDB guidelines, we usually limit things to 25 feet or less if we can help.
That's a recommendation.
Correct.
Yeah. Because your building height says 22.6, but you said before it was 25.
Because that number, that 22.6 is from the finished first floor. Therefore, we're adding another, 2.5 feet for the overall building height.
Okay.
Because I used the existing building drawings. They mentioned 25, so to the ground it would be 25, but to the first floor it's 22.5.
And you said that the upper level addition that faces the front for the new second-story bedroom, you said that slope matches the
No, it doesn't.
adjacent slope, but it doesn't. Okay.
You're right, yeah.
Okay. And the only reason you did it was because you were trying to keep it below that existing height. That's kind of why you did that.
Yeah, and then I thought it would look a bit awkward if I went suddenly, boom, 5 feet higher in the middle or.
Okay. That answers my question. And then pool equipment location is where? The pool equipment location?
Oh, sure. The pool equipment is for the, so that one is in the back behind the garage. One more. No? Okay, here's the site plan.
Oh, there it is.
And it's back here. So it's 9 feet from the side yard. And then if it were 5 feet away, it would match code, let's say, so it's going to be a bit quieter. But I think it's a valid concern because I listen to my neighbor's pool.
Right.
Well,
got
his
it.
air conditioning kicks on, and anyway, but that's another city, another story.
And just because it hasn't been mentioned, even though everybody touched on the question from the public speaker about the setback, if you convert an existing structure that's already built into an ADU, you do not need to meet this ADU setbacks. I just want to make sure that it was clear to you, even though everybody touched on it. I don't think anybody said it quite like that. So if you have an existing structure and it's right up next to the property line, you can convert it to an ADU. You do not have to abide by setbacks. Just wanted to answer that question for you. Okay, comments? Board Member Graffiti.
Okay. Overall, I think it's a great project, a great improvement. I love the stone and some of the elements of the project. I would encourage you to continue to work with your neighbor and hopefully, it's always nice to share plans ahead of time just because I think some of the concerns could be alleviated just explaining. But, and then the other thing is I'm curious to hear what other board members have to say about like the height and the pitch slope in the back. It's not really publicly visible, so I'm not super worried about that. The pool equipment seems reasonable as well. And then, just looking at all the detailing, I think there was a good kind of question brought up about the iron railing and if that, is the best fit in terms of cohesion with the design. But I can be supportive of that, and I'd be happy to be supportive of the project today.
Okay. Board Member Maslahi,
Sure.
comments?
I agree with all the comments that was made. I mean, like, it's my comments as well, so I'm not going to repeat it. The only thing is, like, I think, like, it's worth studying a little bit the west elevation, like, because that's the only elevation that it's visible from the driveway when you coming up. With a roof entry, then there's another roof. There are 3 different roofs, so it might worth like having a 3D view or something for the just to study if there's a better solution for that. We're not here to design the project, and the railing. I think I'm not sure still it's the best with the style of architecture, like you mentioned, like the English, the Swiss, and it might be because of the maintenance. Moving forward, not going with the wood, but if it's the design of it, it matters to the whole project because it's so prominent now. So that's the only, but you have a lot of landscape in front of it. So if you can resolve that with that, soften it with the project, that's great. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I really like the aesthetics of the project, and anyways, my only 2 comments would be if you can to try to unify the roof slopes, and then on the front elevation, it's a 2-story volume. I'm just wondering if you can break that up somehow. If you could study that, that'd be great. Thank you.
You already know what my comment's going to be because I asked a question about it,
Yeah.
and that's, I think that I'd like to see the slopes match, and I would much rather see the slopes match than, and make the building a little bit taller as a result, and I could support that because even, it's a guideline that we want as low of an overall height as possible, but you're dealing with an existing structure with an existing slope, so it will be, your framer will thank you and the architecture will thank you I think if you matched it. And even if it were a little bit higher, I think it would be okay. And I like the different roof pitches. And I really like that elevation as you come up and approach the house and you see the 2-story kind of coming out of the 1-story volume. And I like the split pitch in the stairwell. I think it's appropriate to the style. So.
Oh,
So
actually the
that's-
dormer windows that operate like that. Yeah, the dormer windows that look like that in that style, yeah. Anyway, okay, yeah, sure, so don't mean to interrupt.
Yeah. So does somebody want to, this would be a motion for, if somebody felt that it was ready, it would be a motion for project design approval. If they felt that they could make that approval with conditions, since it seems like the conditions might be minor enough to be able to be addressed by the applicant and maybe even continue it on to consent. But
Yes.
actually, this wouldn't go to, this is the new ordinance, so we wouldn't go to consent anymore.
Yes, that's correct, Chair Sherry. So with the new ordinance, this is the only public hearing that we're
Yeah,
having for this
so it-
approval. So you guys can continue the project design approval to a consent if you'd like with comments, but you can condition your project design approval, and then staff would look at the resubmittal for final approval and make sure that they were addressed.
Yeah, what were you going to say?
I thought that if we deemed that our board should see it for final approval, that we could actually make that in the motion, but it sounds like we cannot.
Let me double check our new guidelines actually on that.
Okay.
Yeah, give me one moment.
But we could also continue it indefinitely to the consent calendar for project design approval to speed things up for the applicant with conditions, and that would be a really clean way of doing it.
So that we will see it one more time before
So that we'd see it one more time, but it wouldn't be full board, it wouldn't have to go through, wait 2 weeks. So
But it wouldn't be final either.
it wouldn't be
No.
final. Final is done by staff under the new ordinance recommendations, but we would be continuing the project design approval to the consent calendar. And that seems like it might be clean if anybody else felt that and wanted to make that motion or a different one.
Yeah, let me just double check here. If you give me one moment, because if the board feels comfortable granting project design approval with conditions and continuing it to consent for a final approval hearing, if that's possible, I think that's.
Either way,
Yeah.
I think what I'm hearing from the board is that they want to see the changes one more time. And if the only way to see them is to continue the project to consent, then that's what we want to do in whatever way
Yeah.
we would need to do that. If we're not going to see it on final at all, then we would do an indefinite continuance to the consent calendar for PDA.
Yeah, let me see here.
If we could give it project design approval today with conditions to return.
Yes,
Final.
we can do that. I was just double checking our new guidelines just to make sure that we can. So yeah, if you'd like to grant project design approval today with conditions to continue the final approval at consent, you can do that.
Okay.
Yes. Thanks for waiting.
Yeah, sounds
Yeah.
good.
Anyone?
What does that mean exactly? Just so-
I'm sorry?
What does that mean exactly as
Um,
far as?
Your architect will explain it, Anthony will explain it to
Okay.
you, if we get through this motion. I'm looking over here, I'm looking over.
I'll make a motion.
There's
No, I'm
conditions
just
for
kidding.
Yeah, okay. I'll try. I'd like to make a motion to grant project design approval, and then with conditions to be reviewed with,
Consent for final.
with consent for final approval, with the following comments, to match, for the second story, please match the slope of the existing roof line. What else? What else did we talk about?
That might have been.
That was it? Or-
it.
Yeah, that was the only thing.
But I don't know.
Um,
did she miss it?
Okay, I have a question. Did you guys,
recommendation.
okay, were you guys bothered by the second story being on the same plane as the first story, or it's broken enough?
This one?
Yeah. I'm not sure. You're fine with it? Okay. Okay, that's all my motion is, the comments would be just to have the second story roof line to match the existing slope of the residence.
Great. And yeah, and then here, let me bring
Oh.
up the neighborhood compatibility
Okay.
findings for you. Yeah.
The newly improved ones.
Okay, Neighborhood compatibility findings. A, compatibility in character. The project is compatible with the site and neighborhood in its size, bulk, and scale, and contributes to the scenic character of the city. B, quality architecture and materials. The buildings and structures are designed with quality architectural details and enhance the appearance of the neighborhood. C, good neighbor guidelines. The project complies with the good neighbor guidelines regarding privacy, landscaping, noise, and lighting. D, trees. Wait, was there a tree? Okay.
There were trees, but you could just say trees are appropriately
Okay.
mitigated.
Okay. Trees. Trees are appropriately mitigated. E, public views. The development, including proposed structures and grading, preserves significant public scenic views of and from the hillside. Hillside findings. Is this in the hillside district?
Yeah.
Okay. The following findings must be made on any project on a lot within the Hillside Design District with an average slope of 20% or more. A, hillside and ridgeline design compatibility. The development, including structure, scale, form, materials, and colors, blends with the natural appearance of the ridgeline or hillside and does not significantly alter the natural topography of the site. Grading and vegetation removal findings. Are you doing any? Oh, wait, you are doing grading in the back, right? Okay. The following findings must be made on any project that requires design review for grading or vegetation removal permit under Chapter 22.10. A, natural topography protection. The grading is appropriate to the site, is designed to avoid visible scarring, and does not significantly alter the natural topography or appearance of any ridgeline or hillside. B, vegetation removal. The proposed vegetation removal will not cause a substantial loss of southern oak woodland habitat and will comply with all applicable provisions of Chapter 22.10 vegetation removal.
Great. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Here we go, as Kathy would say.
I'll
We need
second
a
that
second right
motion.
Thank you. Chair Sherry,
Yes.
Vice Chair Mosahi,
Yes.
Board Member Roll,
Yes.
Board Member Graffiti,
Yes.
motion passes.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. And just want to announce the appeal process. So if anybody would like to appeal the decision made here today, we do have that 10-day calendar period starting now. So thank you.
All right, we're 5 minutes ahead, but we can go ahead and start with number 2, which is 523
Yeah, you're welcome.
Stanley Drive. And this is a proposal to demolish a 2-car detached garage for a new 999 square foot, 2-story detached accessory dwelling unit. The ADU is under purview of the board because it exceeds the height of the existing residence. No changes to the main residence are proposed. Including the ADU, the total proposed 2,461 square feet on a 7,856 square foot lot is 78% of the maximum required floor area ratio. The project qualifies for an exemption under further environmental review under 15301 existing facilities of the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA guidelines. Project design approval is requested and neighborhood compatibility findings are required. Your name for the record.
Yes, Brian Zant, designer. And Brian Degnan, the owner.
All right.
Okay. Yes, as noted, this project proposal is to demolish an existing 2-car non-conforming garage. It's 1.7 to 1.9 feet from the property line. And we're right on Stanley, couple houses off of Las Positas. The proposed ADU is a 2-story detached structure, roughly in the same location as the garage, which is being removed. No changes are proposed to the existing residence. The ADU is 2 stories, 999 square feet in total. The total proposed floor area for the lot is 2,461 square feet, which is an FAR of 78%. So we're not requesting an FAR, an exception. Proposed building height is 24 feet 6 inches. No setback modification is requested. The reason for the review is because we are 7 feet, oh, this is not working now, there we go. We are, I think this drawing shows the best. This is the project property. This is 517 Stanley. The existing garage is here, shown in the outline. Our proposed two-story ADU is roughly 7 feet above the existing house, and that triggers this design review. It is roughly 7 feet below 517 Stanley, two-story structure. As far as neighborhood compatibility, I'll show some site photos. This is the existing garage to be removed. The materials on the ADU are proposed to match the existing house, which has the Tesla solar roof tiles. The property is right here. There's that two-story structure adjacent to us at 517. There are several ADUs in the neighborhood, as well as a two-story ADU at Samarkand here. And that was an ADU, I believe, over a garage, or it's a two-story, I'm not exactly sure, but we note in the neighborhood there's several ADUs and several two-story structures on the street as well. As far as our design, we are 84 feet set back from Stanley Drive. The driveway slopes down, so this finished floor is below the existing house. The existing garage is here. We are proposing to expand the footprint of this building beyond what the existing garage is. There is a pool proposed under a separate permit. Two-story structure with a bedroom upstairs, living space upstairs, connected by an interior stair to the kitchen below, and a bedroom and water closet. We also have proposed a storage and laundry for use by the main house. Overall height is 24 feet 6 inches at the lowest spot, at the highest spot here. We also have an exterior stair and a balcony on the north-facing side, which is the Stanley Drive elevation. The roof pitch matches the house, and the materials match the house. We have our material board here. This is the color. The solar, the Tesla solar roof. And windows to match the house as well, which are aluminum, dark color. We are proposing for the guardrail and the railing to be cable railing to match the color of the windows, which is darker bronze, dark bronze. I'll go back to the elevation to show. We are proposing the heat pump for the HVAC and the water heater, direct hot water heater on the east elevation, which is the elevation facing 517. Both of those are attached to the building, and their information's here. I believe they're 58 decibels, but with our decibel drop to the property line, I think they're both at around 48 decibels, so they're lower than the 53 as required. This project is, just like the last one, under review by the updated Single-Family Design Review Board, which was revised May 28th. And our understanding is that today's project design approval is the substantive discretionary design action. And we are hoping that any minor remaining items that the board has comments on could be handled through conditions as per the previous project, and through building permit conformance and final design review. Thank you.
All right. We'll move on to public comment.
Thank you, Chair Sherry. At this time, I do not have any slips for this particular project. If anyone wishes to make a comment on this, they may fill one out and bring it to me. I see no one in the audience moving to do so. Virtually, I do not have any hands raised for this project, and we did not receive any written correspondence, so I'll turn it back to you, Chair Sherry.
Thank you. Questions from the board? Board Member Rolfe, questions?
Okay, one question I have actually for you, Sebastian, so I'm a little confused at the trigger point for design review. I thought that a second story ADU was allowed if it's above a garage, or no?
Yeah. So for this project, because they're proposing to demolish
Oh, they're
the
demolishing.
existing garage and rebuild the whole thing brand new.
Oh, because it's brand new.
Yeah, the whole building's brand new. So if it was an
Okay.
existing garage, yes.
Then
But
yes.
yeah, it is a new structure. The whole thing is new. So
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay, a few other, two other questions. Do the neighbors at 517, I don't know the street name, sorry, do they have any windows that, where they have line of sights with the ADU?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, they do?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's two. You can see that top story one right there.
Okay.
That top story window is actually in a, like, I don't know what you call it. It's open all the way to the first floor. So the room on that top story is actually on the front towards Stanley Drive.
Okay.
But they're still, you can see on the elevation, they're still very much higher than
Yeah.
our proposed building.
And then my other question was how much higher it is from the main residence, but I think, does it show like
About
7
7
feet?
feet.
Yeah,
7 feet?
we're a little over 7 feet, and then
Okay.
7 feet, so it kind of steps up that elevation.
Okay, that's all my questions, thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
Board Member Mosley,
Yeah,
questions?
sure. Do you know what's the plate height of the existing house?
8 feet.
8 feet. And the proposed plate height for the first floor of the ADU is 10'6"?
That's correct.
Was there a specific reason that it's like much higher than the existing house?
Feels cooler.
You wanted the higher
Yeah,
ceiling?
it just
like a-
feels so much nicer.
Okay,
you
so
know?
that was just like a design decision?
Correct.
Okay. And in the balcony that it's proposed on the front elevation, it's like cantilevered.
Correct,
There's no
yes.
column.
Yes, you can see that on the side elevation here.
Yeah. And my last question is, I know that the neighbor must have received a notice, but have you connected to them and talked to them?
Yeah, we're all pretty tight in that little.
So they're
neighborhood.
aware?
They're
and-
fine. Yeah.
Okay, they're supportive as far as you know?
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah.
Small.
The grade difference. It's hard to tell how big it is, but they're much higher. Like the fence between our properties is
Yeah, I can see that.
huge. Like they're not worried about it.
Is there anything proposed, the fence that it's adjacent to the garage now? Like, is it any change proposed to that?
No, it's an existing 6-foot-high fence. It's actually 6 feet from their side, I think.
On their side,
so.
yeah. So it's like 9 feet on my side.
And there are existing landscape on their side, I'm seeing, but is there any landscape proposed from your
that
side
side,
or
no.
no?
No.
Okay. Those are all my questions for now.
Okay. Board Member Kafani, questions?
Okay, can you go to the elevation facing the street? I'm just trying to figure out, it looks like in one image, the second story is stacked inward more, but then from that, I'm not understanding the building. If you go back a slide, maybe?
The
Is
existing
this just
garage.
highlighting the existing
Yeah.
footprint?
Yes. This is just,
Oh,
yeah,
I
that's,
see.
that's the existing garage.
Okay, so is
It's
it
kind of
4
outlined
feet, the whole building is it 4 feet from the property line?
there. Yes, our new, yes,
Your
that's correct.
new, okay,
The new,
gotcha.
yes.
And, let's see, I think some of these were asked already. And then can you go to the elevation facing the neighbor as well? Okay, great, the
That's
east
the
elevation.
East elevation here, correct.
Got it. And, oh, could you go to your railing detail? Okay.
Yes, face mounted for the picket, or the pickets, or posts rather.
Okay, And what's the size of the posts?
1.5, I think, by 1.5.
And sorry, I'm like flipping through my questions. And then you said it's about 7 feet lower than the neighbor. Do you know the height of the neighboring house, second story?
The
total height from-
the ridge height?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've estimated from looking at archive files. And how do I zoom in here? So they're at, we have it measured here at 7 feet above our proposed ridge. That's an estimate
Okay,
based on
okay,
an archive visit.
okay. I think that's all my questions.
I just wanted to see the relationship between that neighbor in plan view
Sure.
and your ADU. They're offset completely.
Correct, yes.
Okay. Okay, comments, Board Member Rolfe?
Yeah, of course. So I like that the ADU is set back from the street a lot and is just kind of nestled in the back. So I don't really think there's too many privacy concerns, and it matches the architecture of the house. So I think that's good. Just a few other comments. I would suggest studying the window and doors, just make sure they're in alignment. And it's a straight up extrusion, and so I would like to. I know that you want to maximize floor area, so in lieu of breaking up the massing of the second floor, I'm just wondering if you can maybe break it up somehow with planting or materials. So that's all my comments.
Board Member Muslihi, comments?
Yeah, sure. I think in general, I'm supportive of the project. You know, it's far away from the street, and the fact that you're lucky that the neighbor, the second story is like kind of like they're not like across each other. So there's that gap. And I mean, in general, when you look at the neighborhood, with that neighbor help justify the height of the project. I mean, I understand the personal intent to have the higher ceiling at the first level, but this space is small, so it might be, like my suggestion is that you can look at lowering it a foot, but I'm gonna see like what others say. When you look at the front elevation, there's a lot of plaster above the first level. What is that door? Let me bring it. What's the door in the front? If you go
garage
to your,
door.
it's a garage door.
It was
So
the
like,
old.
I mean, like the balcony and the shadow of that helps a little bit breaking it up. But there's a lot of like plaster, and you're not doing it white plaster. It's gray, so it might help. But in general, I'm supportive of the project, and I think it's it's adding housing, and so I don't have a specific item. We'll see what others mention.
Okay, I agree with what's already been said. Sometimes I'm a little hesitant when it's a second story built up in the same profile as the first and it's 4 feet from the property line, but I think because the windows are kind of modest in size and placement, I think given what's on the other side of the property line and how the neighbor's house and yard is oriented, I think that, I'm okay from a privacy perspective and would kind of agree. I think it's nice to have the interior volume, but it may, given the size of the space, make sense to bring it down 6 inches or a foot as well. But in general, supportive of the project.
Okay, I have the same issue with the amount of plaster between the header of the first floor and the upper level. I think that if you had a higher, what's that header height on the lower level?
It's a 10-foot ceiling.
No, the header height.
80 inches, or 7 feet, excuse me.
Oh, it's 7 feet
Yes,
already.
correct.
It's a lot of plaster. It looks disproportionate. I think if you lowered it, 6 inches to a foot, it would look better, or if you raise the header a little bit, you can't really see it from anywhere, so if you, 10 foot 6 is higher than this room. So.
It is.
It is. So you might want to reconsider that.
Just 10 feet with the ceiling. Yeah, I think like being a same size of space and just measure the height and see what you feel comfortable.
And then you're going to have this huge, it might look a little Alice in Wonderland if you were in that small room. So it's just, for me, it's not being driven by the interior space. That's up to you. But for me, it's the same comment that Board Member Mosley had about the amount of plaster. It just looks disproportionate to me. I would lower that plate height a little bit. And then I had a question about, Board Member Rolf's question about, I just want to make sure the applicant understands what you mean by, you said, I would like you to look at the windows and doors alignment. What did you mean by that?
Oh, well, personally, I just kind of study the, like, if I'm looking at the second story above the first story, the windows are not necessarily aligning with the doors or windows below it.
Oh, if you could speak into the microphone, please. Yeah, so we can
I'm
capture
sorry.
your comments. Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
That's on the front elevation?
Yeah, so the east elevation's fine. But yeah, on the front north elevation, it would just be nice just to have the windows kind of align with the edges of the doors. It's just a minor thing, but
I think we're a bit.
yeah.
Maybe go to the floor plan.
Yeah, I think we're a bit restricted on the. Yeah, there's
That's what I was
stairs that.
thinking.
sense.
That's why I
stairs
wanted
go
to
up to the-
clarify if
Yeah.
that's even possible, what you're
Yeah.
asking them to do.
Yeah, that's true.
So see the stairs on the, as you're facing the structure on the right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why the windows and the doors are not aligned with the upper
Oh.
level.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the level of the
Yeah.
deck coming out of the existing house, which is like 4 feet higher than where this is.
And that
Oh,
laundry
okay,
room door
okay.
is
Yeah.
moved over toward
Yeah.
the other one
Yeah,
because
so
of
That
that.
makes sense because of the site conditions and constraints. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. My only comment was the header, or the plate height of the lower level. So in summary, this project is here for project design approval. If the board felt that it was ready for that level of approval, and this would be the last time that we see the project. So if, as the applicant requested, if there's any way we can make that approval with a condition.
Yeah.
Anybody want to make a stab at that?
Do we want to just add for that elevation, like plate height recommendation?
Yeah,
or
like a.
recommendation to
Yeah,
lower?
a recommendation.
I can do that, probably. I'll move to approve the project for project design approval. The board in general is supportive of the project and recommends the applicant to study to lower the plate height of the first story. That's it. Do we need to do any?
I'll second it, and under discussion, I was wondering if we should be more specific as to the reason why we're making that recommendation.
Yes, the board thinks that on the front elevation, the amount of plaster wall above the garage, the door, it's not a garage door, it's a bedroom, actually. The front elevation, the amount of plaster wall above the door is excessive, and we think that lowering that will help that, especially as the program of the first level is bedroom, storage, and kitchen. And is that fulfilled? Yeah? Okay.
That's good.
Thank you. I'm just writing this out. So what I have for the motion right now is the board is supportive of the project and recommends a study to lower the plate height of the first story to address plaster proportionality above the garage door, especially given use.
It's not a
of the
garage
design.
door.
Oh, okay.
It's You can mention the bedroom
Okay,
door.
thank you.
And just under discussion, the last comment you made about because of the floor plan at the lower
Yeah,
level, what
maybe-
about the floor plan of the lower level? Or do you want to not put that in there?
Let's not put it because it's interior, but
I'll
you
go
know,
ahead and
like
I'll
I
just
just
remove
noticed
it,
that it's like
yeah.
all, the use of it, it's not even living room to have that high ceiling,
Yeah,
so,
I see what you're saying, but
yes,
okay.
okay.
Thank-
Yeah, I think
We don't need
everyone
the,
understands.
yeah, we don't need the interior comment, so.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
And, we still do have to make the compatibility findings
okay.
here, yeah.
Okay, the project is compatible with the site and neighborhood in its size, bulk, and scale, and contributes to the scenic character of the city. The buildings and structures are designed with quality architectural details and enhance the appearance of the neighborhood. The project complies with the Good Neighbor Guidelines regarding privacy, landscaping, noise, and lighting. There are no trees proposed to be removed. And the development, including proposed structures and grading, preserves significant public scenic views of and from the hillside. That's it?
Yes.
Okay.
I seconded it.
Okay, we'll take a vote now. Board Member Graffiti,
Yes.
Chair Sherry,
Yes.
Vice Chair Moslahy.
Yes.
Board Member Roth.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Great, and just wanted to announce the appeal period, so if anybody would like to appeal the project, you have 10 days to do so, and with that, we'll move on to item 3.
Do we have to wait because we're 10 minutes?
Oh, if we're a little ahead, yes, we do. We have to wait at least, be 15 minutes before,
So we
Okay,
can,
oh,
like,
so we're
yeah,
fine.
We're good.
yeah,
The
Okay.
applicant is here.
yeah, okay.
Just in case we need the time later. Moving on to item 3, which is 814 Weldon Road. This is a new item for concept review. This is a proposal to convert the existing garage to an ADU and to permit as-built work, including 82 square feet of additions, exterior alterations, and interior alterations to the primary and secondary structures. A zoning modification is requested to allow alterations to the existing non-conforming open yard. Conceptual review by the Single Family Design Board was requested by the staff hearing officer for comments on design appropriateness for the proposed additions which encroach upon the existing open yard area. No final appealable decision will take place at this hearing. Staff hearing officer requests comments for project design supportability for an open yard mod. Neighborhood compatibility findings and hillside findings will be required for project design approval. Your name for the record.
Jose Luis Esparza, I'm the architect.
My name is Carlos.
Oh, yeah, if you can click the button and make sure the green light's on the bottom. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, my name is Carlos Ortiz. I'm the owner of the property.
Okay.
And-
My wife is also here. If she needed to speak. But I'm here. Thank you.
Yeah, and I just did want to say that we do have staff comments from Mr. Stolberg here.
Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Aaron Stolberg, case planner for the project. This project is here today at request of the staff hearing officer. It originally went to the staff hearing officer for an open yard modification, specifically a modification to the designated non-conforming open yard space. It did not receive design review before that because it did not trigger any cause for design review. The staff hearing officer requested that the SFDB provide comments specifically on design appropriateness for the proposed project, and specifically of the connecting roof between the accessory structure and primary structure, as well as the chimney on the side of the primary structure. The accessory dwelling unit is not a part of the scope of today's review, nor is the parking, but the roof connecting the accessory structure, ADU, to the primary structure is.
Thank you. Okay. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Let me start by showing you what was existing. So this is our, no, one more. This is our existing site plan. So our open yard was here in the X's. As you can see, the area that is in question is going to be this area because that's where the roof attaches between the two buildings. And then we've got this open yard as well. It's all existing non-conforming in dimension, but the total open yard is in excess of 1,250. It's 13, I can't read it, 1360 or
1350 something. You can zoom in on your drawing to read it if you need to.
So it's 1358. Thank you. The elevations for this project, or here's the floor plan of the main house. From the original permits, the existing elevations as permitted. This is the garage storage room, which we're proposing to convert to an ADU. And the elevations for the garage storage. And then moving back to the new project. So we're eliminating this open space. We're keeping all of this open space. Our chimney does encroach into it reduces this area to less than 10 feet, so I didn't count it as open. But because our driveway that went to the garage is only 15 feet in dimension, we can't propose to use it as parking because parking standards require it to be 17.6. So it becomes a open yard space, and we end up with a open yard of 1,349. Still, all of the yards are non-conforming in dimension, but we do exceed the 1,250 square feet. This is the changes to the existing house. So there was a bay pop out here with French doors. This is that bedroom with the chimney that was mentioned. This was remodeled. There was a door going to the backyard here, which was eliminated. And then the little indent was enclosed for the washer dryer. And then on the elevations, the exterior was plastered where it was bad and board before. Roof was not altered. When this was built, there was a utility closet that was built in the side yard, which is being proposed to be eliminated. It just housed the water heater, so we're going to go with a tankless on the outside. This roof remained the same to the main house. And then this is the roof in question. This is the existing roof for the main house. So the roof is at a 2 and 12 pitch, which goes up to a ridge here, and then it goes down over to give cover for the ADU access over this back door. And then this is the plan for the ADU. We've got a 2 feet 8.5 inch addition here, and we're squaring off this room and taking out, enclosing. It's a very small area. It's 2 feet. Uh, 2 feet by 3.6, which is 7.5 square feet. So that this can become a full bath. And then going to the elevations. So here's the elevations of the back, and this is the roof that was added to cover. This is the deck area that got covered. It's 18 inches in height, so if you know, it would still count as open yard, except for you know, now we have it covered, roof covering. So that's basically the gist of the project. If you have any questions, I can answer those.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to public comment.
Thank you, Chair Sherry. We do have a couple of slips for this particular project, so if Mr. Jewett could approach the podium, you will have 2 minutes to speak.
Hi, my name is Britt Jewett. I'm a neighbor on the northern property line. I'm also an architect. I've been here since 1988, practicing in Santa Barbara. I'm familiar with the municipal code, the reason that the board exists, and how it contributes to the resources of our neighborhoods and the character of Santa Barbara. I'm here to speak in opposition to this because I feel it's a precedent setting for a neighborhood struggling with city housing pressure. We get an inordinate number of nuisance reports in the area, and we're in the process of finding a densification of our neighborhood based on the city college. What I'm seeing here is a process that did not involve municipal code or the board weighing in on the design as presented. The plan is a non-compliant development that's inconsistent with our neighborhood. And one of the metrics for understanding compatibility is the FAR, which is low, but we also have other metrics that we use, like the setbacks. You know, there's a violation of 11 and a half feet in the front setback, 7 in the back. 87% of the lot is paved. And the modification process exists to demonstrate hardship. Those are typically topography, irregular boundaries or easements or things that prove a hardship that you can't develop consistent with your neighbors. And that doesn't exist here. What we're at, this is using the modification process for a pardon for disregarding municipal codes, the laws that we use to regulate proper development in the city, and the purpose of the board, which you volunteer your time to uphold the character of our neighborhoods and things. And I don't see this as being consistent with that, and especially considering the pressure we're under in the densification of this neighborhood and the change the neighborhood is going through. I would like to see a way of finding a different solution. Thanks.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Hammond, if you please approach the podium, you will have 2 minutes to speak.
Yes, I'm Ed Hammond. I live at 818 Weldon Road. I share a common border with the 814 to the north. And there was already an ADU there. There was an ADU there before the applicant bought the property. The closet, referred to as storage or office, is part of the original purchase he made. People were living in it. His own son moved into the property with his fiancée. But thank you for allowing me to speak. In addition to the written comments concerning the impact on the site removing all parking spaces, let me say that I do not believe the ADU regulations require, I'm sorry, I need my glasses. I do not believe the ADU regulations require the elimination of the existing uncovered parking spaces in front of the garage. The regulations do not require the 2 covered spaces lost due to the garage conversion to be replaced, but this is different from then suggesting that the 2 uncovered spaces remain as they have existed for more than 20 years. The application for an open yard modification can be considered moot by the applicant removing the unpermitted alterations made above the covered deck, so the existing open yard calculation stands. The applicant can then move on to complete the ADU in accordance with applicable standards. neighborhood compatibility findings should also be taken into account. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hammond. At this time, I do not have any additional slips for this project. If anyone wishes to make a comment, they may fill one out and bring it to me. I see no one doing so. We did receive written correspondence from Mr. Hammond, and we do not have any hands raised virtually for this project. So with that, I will turn it back over to you, Chair Sherry.
Thank you. Okay, questions from the board. Board Member Mosley, questions?
Yeah, sure. Just a quick clarification from the staff. So what I'm understanding is the project went to the staff hearing officer for the mod, and they sent it back to us because they wanted us to see the roof connection and only the fireplace that it's in that open yard area. Was there any enforcement case for the project, like prior to that, or anything that it's not in the scope of this that we're seeing?
Yep, so that is correct. It went to the staff hearing officer for an open yard modification. As a part of that open yard modification, they're also working to permit other as-built work done on site. That as-built work has been reported through an enforcement case in the past. The application includes permitting of as-built work that is in alignment with our code and removal of some as-built work that
And
isn't.
that does not trigger our board?
No.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify that. Okay. So, going to the project, first thing, is there anything I'm not seeing in the scope of project, but I'm going to ask the architect, like we're seeing like a wood fence, or I don't know if it's a gate or a wood fence. Is that to remain? It's a fence on the front elevation, like right side, probably it's.
Yes, their front elevation on the right is a wood fence between the adjacent properties that remains.
Okay, and the fireplace that we talked, that it's in the open yard, any exterior alteration is proposed to that?
Not the way it was built. This was an as-built fireplace and sort of a bay addition. And the fireplace is in the setback, but it's allowed to be in the setback because it's just the fireplace. There's no living space
Yeah, my question is just like, are you proposing to change, like any alteration, material change, or no? It's
No.
as is, as we're seeing.
Yes.
And regarding do you know, because the neighbor mentioned, and I noticed that before looking at Google Earth, the percentages of hardscape, like impervious on the site, do we know that? And is that part of one of the enforcement items?
I don't believe it's part of the enforcement, but I'll let our planner speak to that. I do have a calculation coverage. So this is our site coverage. So we're 30.
Okay, that's something to be, just, I noticed that, and I'll leave it to comments, but we'll see. And can you go to elevation again, I think you showed it, the elevation that the roof of the ADU connects to the main house? And can
Yes.
you just run us through the design?
So this is the roof of the, in question.
Yeah, can you, I can see it on the roof plan. Any elevation that shows that, or any?
Yes.
Okay.
This is the elevation, looking, or the east elevation. This is the deck. This is the storage that's being converted to an ADU, and then this is the low, 2 and 12 pitch roof that going back over the deck. This is cutting through the roof, and the deck, And then this is looking at from what is now the driveway side. So we've got the roof extending, and then
Is that the location that it heats is that the main house?
and then this is the main house, the existing main house, yes. So I've got just the outline of the main house here.
It's not
and
clear to me that how the roof connects, but is it lower than the roof? The existing house?
It starts lower and then goes higher, and then it dives into it.
Okay.
It's already built.
Yeah, it's as
okay.
built, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No.
I did not notice.
We're looking at it on
Yeah.
your aerial.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and now I notice how it is. Okay.
And I
So
don't know.
it's
if
not
you-
proposed, it's like, that's why it confused me. Okay, thank you. I can see it now.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Questions, Board Member Graffiti?
Could you bring up the photos of the site?
Do we have this?
Yes, through the chair to the applicant. I think if you scroll to the end of that packet of your plans, I think there's a few extra sheets. I think I combined all the sheets if you scroll all the way down. If they're not there, then I can find them. Okay, let me find them. Give me one moment.
It'd be great specifically, I'd love to see photos of the front of the house from the street, and then I'd like to see photos of where the roof is connecting.
All the photos.
Yeah, all the photos, but especially those ones.
Yeah, from the street, there's a hedge in the front, and so.
We just need to see them.
You don't see that roof from the street at all, because it's over on the back right side with the driveway on the left, so.
Yeah, just give me one.
We just need to see them.
One moment. I'm bringing them up right now.
And then is there still an existing, I think when I looked at Google Street View, just while I can ask other questions while they're bringing up, oh, perfect. Well, one of my questions was, is there an existing pepper tree still there in the
Yes.
front? Okay,
Yes.
that's still there. Okay,
Yes,
got it.
Very healthy, very nice.
Okay. So let's see. So yeah, walk us through, okay, north from easterly side.
So this is from the front yard looking at the side setback. That's the storage that's going to be removed right there.
Okay,
And then that's the other side of the storage looking towards the street. That's going to be removed.
okay,
That's the fireplace.
gotcha.
And then this is the deck with the roof that was added. And this is sort of how they come together. The existing roof wasn't altered, so it was just California frame where they met. And the bottom of that roof is done with either 1-by or 2-by decking. I'm not sure which one, but it's decking. So when you look up, you see decking.
Got it. Okay, let's
There you
keep
go.
going. Okay.
See, so it starts higher and then it goes lower, and then it.
And on the other side of the property line, is there, I noticed like it looks like it's concrete and then a wood fence. Is there vegetation on the other side of this, or what is the, I don't know if we can go through an
Yeah,
aerial view after, but,
We do have pockets of vegetation. This is between the two structures.
okay.
So we do have, those steps go to what's now the driveway.
Okay,
And there's a fence there with a gate, so we've got landscaping there. And there's a hedge just on the other side of that fence adjacent to
kinda
the
see.
driveway. And that's, yeah. Here you can see how the two roofs sort of overlap.
okay. Got it. Okay.
That's even clearer.
Yep. And
then
that's,
that's the back property line.
okay,
And then that's the other side of that fence
Right.
with the hedge. And that's the easement or driveway.
okay. Okay. And then there's no images from the front of the house, from the public view?
Yes, we should have
Can you go back to those?
They should have been first.
Just as we're considering, public views, even if it's just a hedge, it's still helpful to see that it is a hedge and what the view is from the public.
Yeah, I think these are all the photos that we have as a separate photo package in the plan
Okay.
case, but if there are any extra photos in your plan set,
Could you do like a maps view?
yeah.
Yeah, but that's from February 2021. So 5 years, 5.5 years. That's why I was asking about that pepper tree. Okay, and then the site improvements, like these as-built conditions, these all happened prior to the purchase of the property? Or can you help me understand that?
I'll let the
The
owner
history of
answer
the, I know that came up in public comment.
Would you like to repeat the question, please?
Just some of the as-built work, which usually is kind of unpermitted work, I guess is how
That's
we
correct.
describe that.
Yeah.
These are all things that happened prior to the purchase of the home?
Yes.
Doesn't really matter.
Just curious.
I know.
Okay, and I think that's it for my questions.
Okay, Board Member Roth, questions?
Oh, yeah. Actually, it's a question for the planners. The architect and he spoke publicly, and he mentioned that there's some densification with the parking. But my question is like, so can you address that? What he might be referring to, and is there any change in the parking? Or?
Yeah, so there's two parts, and if you'd like me to expand on this first part, I can as well. FAR is for the floor area ratio. That I'm not sure if that was part of the densification argument. It's purely floor area, not lot coverage. It only applies to structures over 2 stories, and it doesn't apply here. For densification as far as parking goes, the proposed ADU meets the California state standards and requirements that we aren't able to say no to if they do meet. That being that a ADU that exists as a conversion of a garage does not require parking for the ADU, and replacement parking for the existing garage parking is only required if certain standards aren't met. One of those standards in this case that is met is that it's within a half mile of a bus stop. So as a summary, there's no required parking for this project or this site, and we can't enforce that they do provide any parking.
Okay. And also, there is mention on the decreased width of a driveway. Can you comment on that?
Yeah, so the driveway is actually shared between this property and 3 other surrounding properties. The driveway width on this property is only 10 feet, but it's connected to the driveway on the neighboring property, which is 10 feet as well. So it has a total of 20 feet.
Okay.
And that driveway is also how the properties in the rear that aren't directly on the street are accessed. One of the reasons that the parking had to be removed from in front of the garage was to maintain access using that driveway for the neighbors in the rear.
Okay, sounds good. So I guess what we're trying to review is if these little additions, like the covered deck and all, the little kitchen, it's taking away this open space. So that's what we're trying to review. Okay. Question for the applicant. Do you know? Well, I guess this was done before you, but what the purpose is of the covered deck? I guess that was the person before you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It was there, everything.
Yeah. Okay.
We didn't make practically any changes.
Yeah. Okay.
The question is, what's the purpose? And I think the answer is it's open yard.
When you're referring to the open
The
yard.
covered deck.
I'm
The
sorry.
covered deck, what's it used for?
The covered deck is simply just to provide some shadow connected.
For the deck?
Yeah, the deck. The deck was always there. But if you're talking about the roof, yeah, he already explained about it.
Yeah, so that deck is serving what's going to be the accessory dwelling unit. because there's no access besides going to the outside and up the stairs
Okay.
to that deck. So,
Okay.
and it's covered, so it was just something that the previous owner wanted to see. It's actually quite pleasant underneath there.
Okay, that's all my questions. Thank you.
Okay, there's a lot going on here. Specifically, you said that we're supposed to comment not on the ADU, not really on the parking, because they are allowed to eliminate the parking, and we were suggested to concentrate on specifically the connecting roof, and what about it that we're supposed to be looking at? The design? The design appropriateness of a 2 and 12 roof that connects two buildings.
Yes, so
It can't be seen from anywhere.
Yes, so the reason the roof came into contention was the existing non-conforming open yard had to be modified to permit the roof. The roof is as-built addition, so to change the open yard to not include that roof area, it requires a modification. The staff hearing officer was unsure of the design appropriateness. They didn't feel comfortable making that decision, and how the roof and chimney impacted the neighborhood and such, since they were only reviewing the, I guess, viability of the open yard modification itself. But the roof is not technically part of the accessory dwelling unit, and you were correct that the accessory dwelling unit is not part of this review.
And why does, just out of curiosity, why does the staff hearing officer feel that the roof is impacting the neighborhood?
That's their decision. I'm not sure. I don't want to speak for
That's
them
okay.
on why.
No, I just thought you might know why they felt that it was, if
Yeah,
we're supposed to be commenting on it.
The proposed non-conforming open yard is somewhat fractured. It is a change of design from the existing one. And I think when they were looking at the aerial images of it, it was a bit more shocking than the permitted residence beforehand. And I think they just wanted to confirm with you before making a decision on that.
Okay. And so the requirement is still that open yard to be included and the number cannot be covered. That's why there's a reduction in the number, because there's an as-built roof over it.
That is correct, yeah. The modification is only required because the roof impedes on what would be the open yard, and to change that open yard to allow the roof to be permitted, a modification is required.
When an ADU is proposed and to a development that's already a single-family dwelling, that is, in this case, something similar to this case where the garage is being converted and the open yard is almost non-existent, or there's not very much of it. What is the requirement for open yard when you start converting garages, and how does staff look at the required open yard in that case?
Yeah, so for this case specifically, as a good example for it, the open yard requirements came into play after the layout of the structure was already permitted. So that's where the non-conforming open yard comes into play for this. As the structure was permitted, it couldn't meet our minimum requirements. So to meet our requirements afterwards with the non-conforming structure, what we say is that you have to use the largest, most usable areas up to the minimum of 1,250 square feet to meet that open yard requirement. The proposed ADU doesn't impact the existing or proposed open yard area because it is entirely within the permitted garage space. So there's no change to the outdoor area, speaking exclusively for the ADU. The other as-built additions, such as the chimney and the roof, those impact the open yard area, and to permit those instances of as-built work, a change needs to be made to the open yard area. But with specifically in regards to the ADU, no changes are required. It doesn't impact the open yard in this case.
And the open yard area on the east side of the house is already non-conforming in width because it's only...
That is correct. The minimum width is 20 by 20 feet. There's nowhere on this property that meets 20 by 20 foot dimensions
But-
for open space.
But the chimney is exacerbating the width, even though the existing width is non-conforming.
That is correct. And technically, the chimney is allowed to encroach, but there's an expansion of the room inside that is at the base of the chimney. So if you look on the plans, the
Yeah,
chimney's
can we go to
the
the floor plan, please?
yeah, the chimney is the small rectangle which encroaches upon the open yard on the side yard there.
Right, where's the floor plan of that room?
Yeah, so the small hatched area next to the chimney, that is an expansion of a room. It's an expansion of space that can't be considered open yard, but the chimney is allowed to encroach.
And where, so the main house is using that area as the open yard, and then the ADU is using the covered area as open yard?
The proposed is using what was the driveway to offset the loss in.
That was
in
my
open
next
yard.
question. Can you go to the driveway, and why are we eliminating the parking?
So if I may step in
Yeah,
here.
go ahead.
The space in front of the garage is not suitable for parking by transportation standards. It's too short, doesn't meet safety requirements. So for that to not be used as parking, it has to be blocked off so that it can't be used as unpermitted parking. Once it's blocked off, it creates an open space that is larger than the existing open space areas, and our code requires for non-conforming open space areas that we use the largest, most usable space. That area in front of the garage that could not be used before because it was a driveway now becomes the largest, most usable space. So we can take, or areas that were previously considered open yard can be removed.
Got it. And what would be your argument to someone disputing that this development is not in character with the neighborhood?
I would say that we're not changing the house isn't actually changing much. The additions are very minor. In a lot of the cases, they're within the existing roof. And the main change is going to be the parking, but because of the ADU law, we're allowed to remove that parking and not restore it. From the street, we're not proposing any changes to what's in the front setback, which is existing non-conforming. On the contrary, we are removing something that was built without a permit, which is this storage unit.
And my last question is, there's a bunch of as-built, you just touched on one that you're removing, but are there any as-built changes to the front elevation visible from the street that you're asking for approval for? Visible from the neighborhood?
Well, the house was board and bat, and now it's plastered. But I don't know that we're required.
Is it a
that
smooth
to be
plaster?
Permitted?
Looks like it is.
There's the plaster on the outside of the home is included in this, but doesn't trigger design review or anything like that. Another point of as-built work that's being addressed that was mentioned in the enforcement case was there was originally a unpermitted parking space towards the entrance of the driveway. You can see it's near the stairs that lead to the front door. That space is being blocked off, so it can no longer be used as a parking space, and we'll bring that space back up to code.
Okay, so back to the neighborhood, this is a neighborhood compatibility issue for me. So the existing, I mean, I'm looking at a photograph from a long time ago. I need to see the front of the house. I mean, there's been changes to the front of the house. There should be photos of the front of the house that we can compare the existing permitted condition of the front of the house with the new or as-built condition of the front of the house.
Is this a photo from one of the public? Oh, okay. I do have a photo from the, would you mind coming up to the podium and saying your name for the record, just so we can see this photo and where it's coming from?
Ed Hammond.
And, thank you. But,
This
yeah,
is
if
a
you wanna
photo
pass
of
it around.
that the realtor marketing the property back in 2018, 2019 provided of the front elevation of the property.
So if CCTV
Very, very different than
can
the way
zoom in
it looks
on
today.
This photo, this is an exhibit of what the original condition of the house was prior to the as-built dimensions? Is that what I'm seeing?
Yes, I believe that's what the member of the public mentioned, that was the realtor listing in 2018, 2019. And, yeah, if you could center the photo so it's right in the middle, yeah, I think it'll help them out. There you go.
So is this what it looks like today?
Yeah, and I don't believe so. Yeah, I don't.
Oh, no, it doesn't. We know that because
Right.
This is
This is it.
This is, even Google Earth is old, but.
Right. So I don't believe we have photographs of the existing home.
Okay,
at
it's
the
a little
front
hard
today.
to comment on the appropriateness of the as-built or changes if we don't have photos to document the differences between the two. So just remember that as we make our comments. But those are all my questions. Okay.
All right, thank you.
comments. Board Member Mosley.
Yeah, I think like we will need
The owner does have one on his phone, so if you want to take a look at that.
I don't know, we can put it on CCTV, I don't know. Is it the current, like now? When is it?
Right now, yes.
Is it right now?
Oh yeah, make sure you center that phone. Yeah.
In the glare.
We should put
You're
a.
not going to see it.
Oh,
So
it's like from this angle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that the driveway?
it's from that angle. It's from the driveway.
Oh, it's like
Yeah, but
this?
it looks,
Oh, there we go. Yeah, if you tilt it up, you can see it better. There you go.
there
With
we
the
go.
light. Yeah.
Yeah, that's looking at the front door from in front of the driveway.
From the driveway.
I'd like to
A
ask
little bit
one,
more.
another
Right there.
question.
Now,
yeah, and I had one more question.
Oh,
Why
you
is
go
the
ahead.
window in the middle higher than all the other ones? The little one? Why is that?
Yeah,
Why is that window higher?
Bathroom?
Yeah.
there's a lot of.
We don't need this anymore.
I know there were questions about parking and.
I'm not,
Oh,
you
you're
need to
not
get the
done.
answer to my question.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said bathroom. I had your answer.
Yeah, well, why is the header higher?
That's, when they plastered, they put a new window in there and they, for
Raised the
whatever
header.
reason, they
Okay.
just raised it.
Um,
It's a bathroom window.
And then, okay, go ahead.
Oh, I was just because parking came up, I just wanted clarification. The spots used as parking before, when there were, I think there was a public comment about 4 spots or something, but those weren't ever, from my understanding now that we're looking at what parking is said with dimensions, were those not ever proper parking dimensions?
Yeah, the only permitted parking was the space in the permitted garage.
Got it.
Outside of that, no other
Okay.
parking was permitted.
Okay, gotcha, that's helpful. That was my last question.
Comments, Board Member Mosley.
Okay, before I make comment, I have last question now that we talked about parking. I know it's not part of this, but it's a little bit confusing. So the parking is now ADU, so there's no parking, and we're blocking out in front of it because, because of the dimensions that we talked. So the main house doesn't have a covered parking.
That is correct. The ADU, no parking is required for the ADU, and replacement parking isn't required because it's in a half mile of a bus stop.
Okay, I see. So you're using that exception, okay.
Yes.
Okay, I see. Okay, I think what we are seeing on the scope of the project and what the staff hearing officer has asked us to review, like regarding giving the zoning modification, I don't see the ADUs as built, I don't see that connection of the roof being a issue from the public view because we're not seeing that. Or like the fireplace is there, I don't see like that issue of like taking away the open yard, but the whole project and what was unpermitted and all the enforcement cases and not seeing the condition of the front elevation from the street, I think I would like to see that, more better documentation of the front of the house, because as Chair Sherry mentioned, like, we have to do the compatibility, and I don't believe at this stage I can just read that the house is compatible with the character of the neighborhood, and because of all the like things that has been done to the project, and it kind of like not in the scope of project, and so I'm having a hard time putting it like related to the scope of the project that today is in front of us. But that's my general comment of like, we need to see more documentation and like approve the things that really design, like triggers the design of the house from the public view, and like even like the neighbor view that like is the public view. So just to make that compatibility.
All right.
Board Member Ruff.
Yeah, I agree with you. And when I looked at the image of the as-built chimney, I think aesthetically it didn't look quite right. I have to look, I don't know, to look at that again, but yeah. I guess anyways. And another thing too, the flat roof that combines the ADU and the main house, if it was, I actually don't think architecturally that looks quite right, but I know that we're just looking at, we're mostly commenting from the public views, but I don't think I would approve that if it were being proposed, for new construction. So that's all my comments.
Board Member Graffiti.
Yes, I agree with what's already been said. I always struggle with as-built projects to wrestle with things are already done. Would we have approved it that way? I don't know. But definitely, I mean, our board's purview is the public views and then privacy. So when we're only having, I guess, private views or the view from the residents and not from the street, I don't know how I would be able to make a motion, even though I think it probably isn't visible. We need to be able to actually see that. And so, I don't know, I think it'd be helpful for staff in the future to make sure there are photographs from all public viewpoints so that we don't have this again, because I do think there are site constraints, there's a lot going on, and I might be able to get there to support this, but not having the view from the public when that's our purview is really challenging.
Okay, I agree with what's been said. It's, like I said before, we can't make comments on the appropriateness of as-built work if we don't have photographs of what's really there, and we're looking at a screen from somebody's phone. And this is kind of digressing back to questions to the board, to the staff. Does a hedge require an MZE for overheight?
A hedge requires an MZE in the front yard at least,
Right.
if it is 8 feet or higher. If it's
42.
42 for hedges? Is
Over
that-
42.
I believe that's for fences. I think hedges fall under.
Hedges are part,
think hedges
are part of the
there's-
42. So
Here,
for this
let me-
project, we need an MZE.
Give me one moment to bring up the code.
And
'Cause I don't
just-
remember off the
The reason
top of
I'm
my
making that
head.
comment is because we don't have photographs to confirm or deny the existence of an overheight hedge, but we can't use an overheight hedge as justification for not liking the front elevation of a. Did you all hear that?
Yes.
We can't use an overheight hedge as a reason for approving. That's old, though.
Yeah, we don't know.
That hedge
Yeah,
is probably
I'm-
grown.
Yeah, I'm bringing it up right now with the
Unless the
new-
code's changed.
It has.
Anything over than 42
Yeah,
inches.
it has. Can we switch to my screen, please? Thank you. So
It
these
doesn't
are
really affect but go ahead.
right. I'm just answering your question. So yeah, these are the height limitations for fences and hedges. So you can see for hedges in the front yard across the board, it's 8 feet. Within 10 feet of a front lot line, it's 8 feet. In all other areas, it is 12. Anything over that requires a minor zoning exception. And these are the heights that you can request.
So there's been a significant change in the
Correct.
zoning ordinance that the 42-inch maximum hedge height has now been increased to 8 feet.
Correct. So the only caveat with the 42-inch height is with invisibility triangles with driveways, so that may affect the design of different projects. I don't know what code section from transportation that lies in, but fences also have to obey that 42-inch max
Okay.
height, as well as walls with invisibility triangles. So yeah, just to answer that question.
Okay,
Thank
well,
you.
that's news. Okay, so I also don't have an issue necessarily with the covered patio. I can understand wanting the shade. I could probably support something like that, even if it wasn't as-built. It's difficult to figure out a design for a roof when you have two roof lines meeting at 90 degrees from one another, and a lot of times a lower pitch roof is especially if it's not visible, is an appropriate solution because of the roof line conflicts. So that's not what I have an issue with. It's more about the changes that have been made. So with regards to, well, maybe I'll just try to formulate this in a motion.
Well, and pardon the interruption, I just wanted to clarify with the case planner, Aaron, I just wanted to confirm that the scope, like the purview of the board today is only comments for the modification, correct? And so, and the modification is only from the staff hearing officer. They just want to comment specifically on the aesthetic appropriateness of the roof, correct?
That is correct. There's no design review triggers, and it's just here for comments in relation to the open yard modification.
Right. So from, I just wanted to advise the board that, you know, we have these comments about the changes in the stucco,
So we
the
can't make those
changes.
comments because it's not in our purview.
Correct. Yeah. I just want to make sure that the board is staying within their purview. I do understand wanting site photos to see impacts from public views, because that does relate to the single-family residence design guidelines, of course, for neighborhood compatibility. But beyond that,
It's kind of a catch-22 because
it
we're
is.
supposed to make compatibility findings for a modification, but we're not supposed to make comments on the as-built
It's-
changes.
so it's, yeah, so it's, you're not technically making compatibility findings.
So we're not doing neighborhood compatibility?
No.
When this
You're-
project goes,
Design appropriateness, but that relates to the.
Correct.
When this
So
project goes
for this
to-
motion, so for the motion, it would be that the board continues this project to the staff hearing officer with the following comments. And then your comments would be if the modification is or is not aesthetically appropriate. And of course, and you can see on the screen here, right? The proposed modification is or is not aesthetically appropriate. The proposed modification poses or does not pose consistency issues with the single-family residence design guidelines. If applicable, include guideline reference numbers or numbers for reference.
So I have a question for staff. Given that the siding changed, what if we found that the roof was appropriate when it was board and batten, but not appropriate as a plaster home?
So it would have to be based on the current scope of work that is being proposed. So it would be with the current siding that is being permitted as we're looking at it today.
there is no siding permitted. There's not. there's no
Right, so
siding
it's,
proposed.
so it would just be with the scope that's before the board today.
So what happens when this project comes back for project design approval and we have to make compatibility, we have to make neighborhood compatibility guideline
Yeah,
findings?
yeah, I'll let the case planner clarify. I don't think it comes back.
Yes, it's not going to come back for design approval. This project, if it wasn't sent back from the staff hearing officer, it only requires the staff hearing officer's approval or denial for the modification. All the other proposed work in relation to as-built work is permittable without any hearings, as
Any
it.
design review.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so
we're
here
only here
would be
for-
my motion.
Yeah.
The motion is that the board understands that the only aspect of this project that we are allowed to comment on, or that we're being requested, to comment on, is the aesthetic appropriateness of the covered patio between the main residence and the ADU.
Oh, and the fireplace.
And the fireplace. the board the board, no, let's see, let me rephrase that. Because the covered patio and the chimney are essentially hidden from public view and are not visible from the street, and take out the and. Because they are not visible, the board finds these two elements to be compatible with the design of the existing development and approvable from an aesthetic standpoint. And our comments, I already said this, but just to reiterate our comments, even though we understand, even though we understand that we are not commenting on the appropriateness of the as-built changes to the existing residence, the board does not find those changes to be compatible with the neighborhood. I don't know if we're even allowed to say that, but I wanted to make it clear that maybe just the fact that I said at the very beginning that these comments are limited to the appropriateness of the covered patio, then let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, I think it would, I think including comment 3 would be confusing for the staff hearing officer, since the purview is just limited to the specificity
Okay,
of,
well, it took a long way to get there, but sorry about that.
No, it's all good.
And then that's my motion. Do I have a, do we have a seconder?
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion?
I have a question. So are we just looking at the design appropriateness just from the street? Because it is hidden. So is that?
We're asked to look at the aesthetic appropriateness of the covered patio between the ADU and the residence.
Just seen from the street?
Nope, just the design appropriateness.
Oh, okay.
That's what we're asked to do.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, because for me,
You don't have to vote
I
yes.
don't. Okay. I won't.
Okay.
Okay, sounds
Any more discussion items? Okay,
Okay.
here we go.
Okay, we'll take a vote. Chair Sherry?
Yes.
Board Member Graffiti?
No.
Board Member Moslehy?
Yes.
Board Member Rolfe?
No. This is tied.
You
So,
just wanted comments. It's comments only. So
Oh.
we're just giving you our comments.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so this is
That's
just
it.
Motion
comments.
passes.
Okay, all right,
That's
thank
why
you.
I said you can vote however you want.
Oh, okay. sounds good.
All right, thanks, Aaron.
That's how we do it? Okay.
Yep.
Do you need reasons
good.
for no
That's our
votes,
word,
or is
yeah.
that just with
Yeah.
the decision-making
Okay, cool.
motion?
I believe including for the record decisions for no votes would be helpful for the staff hearing officer, if you want to
Okay.
include
Okay.
those.
I'm happy to start. I have two reasons. One is, the main reason is I'd like to see photos from public viewpoints. Even if if we don't think it's visible, I'd like to see that in photos. And then the second one is, I'm confused between the project description and what I'm hearing verbally from staff, which is what our scope is, because I'm reading in the project description, work including 82 square feet of additions, exterior alterations, interior alterations, all these things. I don't see anything in the project description just specifically calling out our scope, but I'm hearing that verbally from you. So I think that might just be also feedback for staff, but because there's such disconnect between the project description and what I'm verbally hearing from staff, that's also a challenge for me in making this
All right,
motion.
thank you. Board
Okay.
Member Rolfe?
Yeah, I just felt that the covered deck just appeared bulky. I'd like to see it more open, or maybe a trellis, it just makes it feel a little bit more airy. And I think the positioning of the chimney where I think it was coming out, I think I saw a photo where just like the aesthetics just didn't, I don't remember actually. Yeah, I think the way it comes into near the property line appears a little bulky too. So
Okay.
so
Thank you.
those two things.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to item 4. Thanks. This is 1596 Aramis Road. This is a proposal for a new 941 square foot third story with 119 square foot patio and trellis. A wood bridge is proposed from the third story to backyard terrace. I'm sorry, can you take it's hard to read and concentrate when you guys are talking in the background. Thank you. A wood bridge is proposed from the third story to backyard terrace with pavers, raised 268 square foot deck, and planter. The addition proposes to match the existing colors and materials of the existing home. The proposed total, 3,589 square feet on an 8,712 square foot lot, is 107% of the maximum required floor area ratio. Single-family design board review of a maximum FAR exception per section 30-20-030A4 is requested to exceed the maximum allowable floor area ratio. No appealable decision will take place at this hearing. Neighborhood compatibility and maximum FAR exception findings will be required when the project is reviewed for project design approval.
And
I guess we.
yeah, I'll just wait for
Okay,
everybody to get back in
we're
here.
ready. We've got a quorum.
Great.
Okay, your name for the record.
Hi, Kirk Gradine, architect. I had a question about the statement in the agenda. Does this mean that it would be feasible or possible for us to get a PDA today or not?
No.
And why not?
So this project's only here for conceptual review because the project has not yet been deemed complete. So we haven't deemed it complete yet. I believe it's still under review.
Okay, well, that's puzzling. All right.
And I did just want to provide staff comment. So this is our first project that we're seeing here at the board with the new ordinance updates with the maximum FAR exception findings. I did want to flash them up here just for the board's consideration. With the new guidelines, projects that are proposing additions to a second story or above usually require a visual aid. The applicant has provided multiple visual aids from what we have available in our kind of menu and our design guidelines. When a project goes over 85% of the required floor area ratio, the guidelines require that an applicant provide an additional visual aid. The applicant has provided more than's needed in preparation for this hearing. So with this project, the board should consider whether or not they would like to waive full story pole requirements. So whenever there's a project over 100% FAR, it automatically requires full story poles unless waived. So for your consideration for this hearing today, it's considering waiving the story pole requirements. There's 3 tiers to that. I can bring up the guidelines for more details. And then also for this conceptual review is having these exception findings in mind, because these will have to be made at the project design approval hearing. And any appropriate guidance for the applicant is helpful. I can bring these up. This is our first time looking at this. So feel free to ask questions. It may take me some time to get you the answers, but I'm here to help. And that's it from staff. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So can we see what's on my screen? Great, thanks. So right at the beginning here on the first page, we're providing an image that's a 3D photo simulation of the third story element. And actually, when we designed the second story remodel of the whole house and the second story, we planned for a third story. And it did go through design review, but this was back in 2008. So here we are back again. And as you can see, just kind of some of the key elements about the site, besides the fact that it's, an unusual configuration here, we're an average of 35 to 40 feet back from the street edge. Actually, I think it's more than that, because that's the front setback, I believe, is 30 feet. Yeah, so we're 50 feet to the very front of the house to the street edge. So, and you sort of get that clue from the photo sim there being provided. The site is quite steep, 24% slope, and continues to slope up on the hillside above it. And it also is in a kind of valley in relation to slopes on either side. So the street going down Aramis actually goes uphill, and the same in the other direction. So it's a little bit in a valley, and you'll see that in the other photos. And there are numerous encroachments of the existing house and also adjacent houses. For example, you see this hatched area right here. This is our nearest neighbor to the west. They're both in the front yard and side yard setback right up against our lot line. And the same on the other side. This house, all of this hatched portion, oh, no, not all of it, sorry. This is the setback line right here. So but this whole length of the house is in the side yard setback, as we are. The existing house footprint is in the side yard. So it's a very unusual situation, and you'll see as we go on that I'm just going to skip to this page because, oh, it's not, no, that's not the right page, sorry. We have, this is the one I wanted to show you just briefly, that this is a documentation of all the adjacent sites along Aramis that have encroachments in the setbacks. So on the downhill side, for example, all of these houses, some of them being two-story, are all in the front yard setback, and the same on both sides of the road, really. Our neighbor directly across the street, their garage or carport's right in the front yard setback, way into it, almost right to the street. And that continues on down California Street, too. This is a recently built and designed residence right here, 1604. The whole thing almost completely rebuilt, and it was allowed to encroach in the front yard as well. So that's just some neighborhood issues. And also, I wanted to mention with this drawing, or this site view aerial, that in terms of the FAR, we have, let's see, there's about 5 nearly adjacent residences or adjacent that exceed our FAR. Let's see here. Number 2, which is this house right here, 1609. It's just 2 houses down across the street. It exceeds our FAR. Number 3, also the adjacent one. Number 12, which is down California and around the corner on Loma right here, 1612. And number 9, which is right here, 1536, also has an FAR that exceeds ours. And that's documented on that previous chart that I showed that was on the roof plan sheet. And then also in terms of square footages, there are four residences, some adjacent, that exceed our square footage. So our neighbor right up above us, number 13, has a 6,742 square foot residence. I'll show you a picture of that. Number 14, which is right next door to it, and also right above us, exceeds our floor square footage. And 1580, number 5. Where's number 5? Oh, yes, just 2 doors away, down Aramis there, they also exceed it in terms of square footage. So that kind of gives you an idea of what the neighborhood is like, I think, in terms of compatibility, just as far as FAR goes. This residence I mentioned that has a 2-story element that's in the front yard setback, that's number 11 right here. It's right here. Maybe you recall it was just probably in the last 5 years built. Not only that, but it's 3 stories, almost right at the front yard setback, right? You've got a garage and 2 stories above. So, and then on Loma Street, right along the street elevation, you have 2-story elements. This is our neighbor up above, which is a 3-story house, 3-car garage down below, and then a very large residence above. This house currently has this is also our neighbor up above, currently has a application for an ADU, I believe. Here's another 3-story, very visible from the street. This is just down and around the corner from us. And there's others too that are more tucked away and harder to view, like 1611 Loma Street, which also exceeds our FAR. It's a 3-story residence, but it's, as I said, difficult to see from the street. And then we have 2, street photo montages. So in this montage, I attempted to, properly orient by using the curb edge, the relative heights of the house in relation to our house, or to this residence, the Clemenkin residence. And also, this is a nice photo because even though the house immediately to our east is just a 2-story house, because it's so much closer to the street, you can see how it seems larger than our existing house. And how the street climbs as it goes in both directions. As you go to the east along Aramis, there's a lot of big hedges right at the street. Oh, sorry. So even though it's a large residence right here, you don't see it from the street at all. And then looking in the other direction, you have the houses on the uphill side, of course, are 1-story, but then they drop down on the downhill side. And if you go further along Aramis, even though our immediate neighbor has a relatively small house with a carport in the front setback, there are 3-story houses along Aramis on the other side, which I can show you pictures of as well if you'd like to see them.
I do want to remind you, you have a little over 5 minutes to finish your presentation.
Okay.
We haven't even seen the design yet, but thank you for the background information.
Well, yeah, since the FAR was an issue, I thought that was a key thing.
I just want to remind you.
Thanks, appreciate it. So, this is existing floor plan, first floor, which has a bedroom den, storage and bath. The existing main floor is the great room and 2 bedrooms. And this is where we're installing these new stairs up to the 3rd floor around this, what's now a storage area. This is the existing house and carport. And this is the new 3rd floor plan. Has 2 bedrooms, a bath, and a small den, and the stairs going down. We're not encroaching on any setbacks with that. It also has a patio on the downhill side. Flat roof, so we have plenty of room for panels, hidden panels. And here are the elevations. So from the street, this is the 3rd floor element, which also steps up to the back. Here, this is our maximum height line definition. So we're just meeting the height definition right at the front of the 3rd floor, but then as it steps back, we're well below it in the back. And this side of the house is not visible from the neighbors because there's a large oak grove in the neighbor's yard mostly, but some in this yard as well. And a large hedge on the other side. And the 3rd floor is above the roof of the existing house on the east side. And there's a photo of that right here. So this is standing on the back upper terrace looking at the existing house here. And this is our neighbor to the east. So the 3rd floor is going to be up above their roof and not be a visual impairment or intrusion on them. And as far as I know, not on any neighbors at all. As I mentioned, the neighbor up above, we have photos actually from their driveway that shows that we are not in their view at all. So I think that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Kirk. We'll move on to public comment.
Thank you, Chair Sherry. I do have a slip for public comment. Mr. Dwelly, if you'll approach the podium, you will have 2 minutes to speak.
Hi, I'm Dave Dwelly. I am 1511 APS. Kirk, how are you?
Very good.
I've just learned about this project from the blue card that showed up in our mailbox last week. We are the house to the northeast of the property, so it's house number 14 on the map that we saw. My concern is only with the north elevation. That's the elevation that faces my property. There is a small overlap in the property. The current house is now just about at grade at the back edge. The slope is quite steep, and the slope at the back level is just about level with the top of the existing house. The new proposal, the drawings online are not extremely illuminating from the north, but I could extrapolate, and it looks like it's getting about 12 feet taller than what it was. This will make it rise up out of the ground. So it takes a bit of the view away. It doesn't take all of our view because it only covers maybe 10 or 15 degrees of our view. But it does become visible where it was not visible before. My concerns are twofold. One is there's a parapet wall at the top of the back. It's already there, but it's 12 feet lower, and it's generally not visible. By putting it up above, I believe it's there to hide the solar panels, but by putting the parapet wall in the back, we now create extra visual barrier that really doesn't need to be there because it's not part of the actual house. My other concern is there's a couple of windows now that would face back towards our property that weren't there before or were down tucked in below the dirt. I would like to see more detail of the project. The plans are relatively incomplete from the north face looking down south to the house, and I'd like to understand those better. There was a mention made early on of story poles, and I would be quite interested to see story poles for the north elevation because that will make it clear how far it rises up. Those are my comments. Thank you very much. I will comment, the house design looks fantastic. I did go down and look up at the old house, and it's very nice, and the new design does look in keeping with that from the south side. So, thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Dwelly. At this time, I do not have any additional slips for this project, and we did not receive any written correspondence, and I do not have any hands raised virtually for this item. So at that, I'll turn it back over to you, Chair Sherry.
Thank you. Okay, questions from the board? Board Member Graffiti?
Start with somebody else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Board Member Ruff?
Okay. I have two questions. Why do you think it's necessary to add square footage?
Oh, if you could turn on your microphone, please. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. I have two questions. Why do you think it's necessary to add square footage over the 100% FAR?
Well, it's a three-generation home. And they have, it's a growing family, right? The owners of the house, their adult children live with them, and they have children that are now under 5, but will be needing space and rooms, as they grow, and really can't afford to purchase elsewhere in Santa Barbara. So that's the main reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they have kids and they have grandkids all in the same?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, how do you think you can address your neighbors' comments? Are you thinking of possibly changing like the roof slope of the third story, or
Well,
what do you think you would do?
First of all, I don't have a dimension, but if you look, for example, at the west elevation, in trying to evaluate how much higher we're going to be than the existing house, this is the height of the existing parapet, and just looking at the relative other dimensions here, I'd say we're more like 8 feet above the existing parapet height with our maximum height, right? And then it steps down. So that's one issue. The other issue is when Mr. Dwelly says that we're in their view, only 10% of their view, I would raise the question, from where on their property? Because their property is sloping up, just like the one immediately behind us. And it's multi-story, it's a 2-story house. And so maybe when he's down on the bottom level of the house, there's some blockage there. But I'd be very surprised if we had photographs, for example, of what his view is. When he says it's intruding on its view, it's certainly not coming up above the horizon. It's somewhere, in the corner, and he still has ocean and city views beyond that. So I would question that representation.
Okay. That's all. Thank you.
Thanks.
Can I tag on to, I'm going to tag on to you because I had questions relative to that. So is the reason that you are designing the parapet just to hide the solar panels?
Yes, yeah.
And,
So we could bring it down, it's just,
And what's the plate height in that back bedroom?
it's 10 foot.
10-foot plate height?
Yeah,
A 10-foot plate height in the bedroom?
yeah.
And does the rest of the house have 10-foot plate heights anywhere?
The lower floor, let's see what we've got here. I think we've got 9 feet at the first floor and 8 at the second. Oh, no, 9. Sorry, it's 9 and 9.
And tagging on to the question about why you need the 7%, what's that number? Can somebody do that math really quick to see what 7% is? How many square feet?
Oh, yeah,
is
that's
it?
on the plans here.
Yeah. So 100% would be what square footage, and 107 is what? What kind of square footage are we talking about?
Well, it's a formula, right? So it
No, I
has
just
to
asked,
be
like,
punched in, but.
what is 100% of, what is 100% FAR? And then you can subtract that from your proposed total to get that 7%.
Well, so this is, I don't know if you can see my cursor here. Yeah,
I
you
think
can.
it's this. So the 100% FAR is 3,000. If you go to your
3378 is 100%.
to your FAR calculation on your cover sheet on the left side, so everybody can see it.
100% is 3378.
And they are at 3589.
So what's that math really
It's
quick?
like 200 something.
something.
It's like a size of a room.
200 square feet. So you're here and asking for an exception because of about 200 and some square feet.
It's like the size of a room.
211 square feet. So
That's a
my
big-
question is, go to the floor plan now, your proposed upper level floor plan, third floor plan. And did you look for ways of trying to get under the, to within the 100%? And then you just couldn't, and then, so that's why, because that's the finding we have to make. So,
We thought we were going to have to go to Planning Commission with this
Okay.
project. So the owners were willing to go to that extent because they felt that the third floor was not going to impinge on their neighbors in any way. And again, this is why I would question what Mr. Dwelly is saying. I think we would need documentation to verify that we're actually taking up some significant portion of his view, because I don't believe we are. And so we, knowing that, the house being so far set back from the street, the massing stepping back as it's supposed to with the hillside, not impinging on anyone's view, not intruding on our neighbors, we thought, wow, this is an appropriate improvement to the site. So we weren't trying to aim for a specific square footage other than what their needs are, right? So, yeah.
so if you zoom in on the upper level floor plan, those two bedrooms are, one is 14 by 17 and one is 18 by 14. And then, so you didn't even, the answer to your question is you didn't even look for ways of staying within the 100%. You just said, I want these bedrooms this size, and you didn't really, and you,
Both owners are professors at the university. They both need offices in their bedrooms, and that's why they're the size they are, is so that they can have a sizable office where they do a lot of their work and spend a lot of their day. So that's why they're as big as they are, not just to have spacious, big bedrooms.
okay, that's my question. Go ahead, questions?
Okay.
Board Member Musselheim.
Are you done, Board Member Roll? You started the question?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, if you can go to your proposed elevation sheet. Okay. My question is, I can see that the overall height, like at some point it's hitting the 30 feet limit. My
We're just
question,
touching it right
yeah.
there, yeah.
So what was that height on the existing house, and like what's the delta? What's the delta of the existing house height now and with the third story?
Well,
Is it the,
so right here, this
is
is
that
the
that dash
existing
line?
parapet.
Okay.
So which we're actually bringing down. So it looks like, at the front, we're maybe 7 feet higher than the existing parapet.
And if you go back, oh, you didn't have that dimension, and you will verify.
so
you think
this-
it's less than 12.
Definitely. It's more like 8. Looks to me like 8.
So in general, 7, 8 feet delta from the existing house.
Yes.
And can you go back to it? There was an image you were showing the north elevation massing, which. Like
The
a-
3D sim?
No, like a picture. There was a picture that you were showing that parapet from the north side, which
yeah.
was a solid wall.
Yeah.
Is that on the?
Oops, sorry.
It's on A1.1.
Yeah.
So
So that's the existing back
Okay.
wall of the existing house.
I'm talking
yeah.
about the right side, like the right image to that, number 4.
Yeah.
So I can see on the elevation that you had some movements on the parapet. It's not a straight line, is it?
On the top?
On the top.
The new parapet?
Yes.
Yeah, no, we're following the detailing that you see on the adjacent image there.
Oh, I see.
This kind of stepping down kind of detailing. That's
Okay.
what we're
And you're adding some windows there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a door, it seems like a door, but I cannot see any
Yeah, that's
balcony
the-
or stair. Is there a stair there?
There's a bridge, so that's
There's a
part
bridge.
of the proposal that shown on that.
Can we see it on a section? Oh, I can
Yeah,
see on the
it's on-
sections. Okay. A4, I think, the last sheet.
It's on the elevation as well. There,
Oh, I see.
there it is there. So it's a 3-foot wide bridge from that addition to this upper terrace, right?
Okay.
'Cause- yeah.
Is there any new landscaping or tree proposed on the north side?
I'm glad you asked, because this was a question in my mind. One of the requirements that the planners were asking for was a landscape plan. And I could see how that might be necessary for fire department, verification of appropriate fire resistant landscaping and so on, but this is a fully landscaped site. The only areas that I could see that some new landscaping might be needed is,
My question was
Okay.
only like the north side. Is there any like additional tree or something? So, yeah.
there was an oak tree that was removed, so we'll be adding an additional oak tree.
Is it a scope of this project?
Yes.
Where is it on the site plan?
Well, it was removed previously. So right now, it's in the, and the owners couldn't even say when it happened, but
Where is it being proposed?
it's already been removed, so it's an as-built removal.
I understand that.
It's back in this corner.
I'm asking, I think you said it was going to be replaced?
It's going to be
In the
replaced. We
same
don't have
location?
we haven't specified a location
Okay.
yet.
I see.
Yeah.
That was all my questions.
Okay, so a few questions. One is, did you consider adding any square footage, like in the back where the bridge is versus up on the third story? Or is there anywhere else on the property that you could add square footage?
No, well, it's a little bit of a complicated answer, but on the one hand, I would say no, because on the sides, we're going into setbacks. The existing house is already in the side yard setbacks on both sides. We don't want to push out toward the front. And if we go to the back, then we're putting new footings into existing steep hillside, retained hillside. So as I mentioned, when we did the second floor, we designed it structurally so that it could take a third floor. So currently, the footings that define the footprint of the existing house are ready to receive a third floor. So if we go beyond that, then suddenly we're probably going into caissons and big expenses in the back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then some of my questions are around, just given the findings that we'll have to make when we see this for project design approval. The first one was a little bit longer, but I'm going to paraphrase. There's a physical condition on this lot that is different from other lots in the neighborhood. So what is the physical condition of this lot that's different from the other lots in the neighborhood? And maybe we pull that back up on the
Maybe we can pull it
screen.
back up. There's also topography, size of lot.
Well, I would say that it's, except for the unusual shape of the backyard, the unusual shape of the lot, there's a number of things that are sort of in line with other lots on this street and adjacent streets. Narrow, it's a very narrow lot. It's a very steep lot. And so that, as I mentioned, you find nearby houses that are 3 stories right adjacent to the setbacks. So in that sense, it's compatible with the neighborhood development, I would
Yeah.
say. The thing that's unique, I would say, about this house is that it's so far back set back from the street. Most of the houses are not that far set back, are very visible from the street, whereas this one, as I mentioned, it's like more than 50 feet to the one-story portion. And so, and also when we were first thinking about the third floor, we were trying to be compliant with design guidelines that you find in your guidelines, that is stepping the massing back to mitigate the impact to the street, so.
Okay. Thank you. I think I got what I need. And then you mentioned something about bringing down the existing parapet. Like from which side and how much are you bringing down the existing parapet? Like, I guess from let's start with the public view from the street.
Yeah, from the
that
street,
top left.
we're bringing it down about 16 inches.
Okay, so what I'm seeing now in the current photo on the top left, that would come down 18 inches,
Plus or minus, 16 to 18, yeah, something like that.
depending on where.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, because those ends pop up another 6 inches, so it may be more like 20. I don't know exactly.
And then I know Chair Sherry asked this, but the 10-foot plate height is on the third story? Okay,
At just the back.
Proposed.
yeah,
Only at the back, not at the front.
okay. And what's at the front?
I think we had to stay with 8 or it's 8.6.
Okay. You covered the tree. Okay, I think that's it for me. Questions?
I had one more question. You were talking about the other 3 stories in the neighborhood. Can you go over those again?
Mm-hmm. Just to answer that question, 8'6" is our plate height at the front.
Okay.
So those bedrooms at the front are 8'6". Yes. So, 1575 is a 3-story house.
Do you have a photo of that?
Yeah. Oh, it's right below it there. Oh, sorry, 1567. So you can only see 2 of the stories there, but it dropped, there's a 3rd story below.
That one is.
Yeah, this 1612 Loma.
But are they, like the one that you showed us, the one at 1536? You said that was a 3-story, but it's a split level. There's never a condition where there's 3 stories,
Straight up?
like straight up on that house in particular.
1536, which one is
The
that?
one
Is that
right.
numbered?
It's
Oh,
on
this
that
one.
It's on that same page, right at the bottom left. 1536 Loma.
Yeah.
So there's, I see
Yeah,
a
no, I didn't say it
2-story
was
house
3.
here.
Yeah, I think I said it was 2.
Oh, it's that one. So yeah, go to number 11.
Yeah.
So where is that a 3-story?
Well, I guess this, technically, you would say it's 2, but that's a very tall 2nd story over the garage. I mean, that's 14 feet, looks like to me, but then there is that 3rd story element. So I guess, we're splitting hairs saying that it's not a 3-story because,
I'm trying to help you I'm trying to look at precedents and compatibility.
yeah, no, I
so I'm
appreciate
just
it, I appreciate
asking.
it. But and this is 3-story right here, 908 California Street, right? And the house immediately above us is 3-story, right adjacent.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Who wants to start making comments? Who's ready?
I can
Go ahead.
start. If you go to your sheet A4, which is sections, it's very helpful for me to comment, and I think for the neighbor as well. You have like a site section.
Mm-hmm.
So overall, I think adding square footage and being above 100% with the need of the owners of the house, I don't think that's like something that, like I think it's it's spread across the third story. I don't have issue with the square footage going above, and I understand like maybe the rooms are a little bit like larger than the normal typical. It could be the decrease, like you can play with it, bring it down 1%, 2%, but the whole idea is like above 85%. And then like above 100%, like we used to go send projects to planning commission. With our streamlining, it's like great timing to have this project here because you're lucky not to go to planning commission for that. I don't have an issue with the square footage. What I have issue is, and it's very obvious in this section, is that with the proposed additional square footage, why we're adding like that, like 10 foot at the den and the back of the house, why that cannot be the same as the front of the house, like 8.6. That parapet will come down. You can still have your solar panels, and you don't have a dimension there, but I'm guessing like to the property line, north property line, and to the neighbor's house, it's over 50 feet.
Right.
So as you mentioned, in their front yard, in the like front of the house, if they stand in their whatever the landscape, and I don't know if they have a pool, they stand there. It's a very, if you bring that massing down, it's very minimal view probably with whatever landscaping they have. But now with the 10-foot plate height and additional parapet, what I have issue is that height and why you need that in those spaces. Why that will make the design like not as you wanted or the clients wanted, like if you bring down 2 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my general comment on the project, but I don't have an issue with the square footage, and I don't think if like this section is developed more with the dimensions and the neighbor's house in the section, longer section, I think that will even help to support not having a story pole. Okay.
Okay, Board Member Roth.
Yeah, and pardon the interruption. Chair Sherry, I just wanted to remind, I think Board Member Moselhe mentioned story poles. I think that is a consideration as well. I can bring up the story pole kind of requirements and the tiers that you guys can pick. Would that be helpful for your comments, or?
Sure.
Okay, let me bring those up.
Do you want me to make my comments while you're looking? Okay. So, in general, I think the architecture is beautiful. All the detailing and my only other comments, the main comment I have is I feel like the square footage added, where the west bedroom is in site section A that you have pulled up. I feel like that area is adding to the bulk. So I know you're saying that for cost reasons with the footings that it can't be on the second level, behind bathroom 1, but from a massing point of view, that would be much preferred. And then, because otherwise I don't think I could support being over 100% because I think it's just that area of the west bedroom that's adding a lot of bulk. And then my only other comment is there's a staircase, and I feel like it's it's too close to the edge of I feel like it needs to be brought in a little bit. It's a little bit too close to the edge of the first story, just from a massing point of view. So, those are just my comments. Thank you.
Board Member Graffitti.
Okay. So I agree with some of what's been said. I'm less focused on the FAR number, especially given there's multiple homes pushing an FAR beyond that in the immediate neighborhood and just the nature of this neighborhood. I think some of the challenges finding context for a third story here is that a lot of the third story homes we see they read as a one-story or a two-story from the public road, whereas your property has the public road below the house. That being said, there is a couple examples on Loma that have a similar condition. There's one that I don't necessarily think is super aesthetically appropriate, but it is there and built and assuming permitted. I think it's like the orangier looking one. And then there's that one that's kind of split level. So I do feel like there's a context here we could argue to support it. It's more about how it's done. What struck me first about, I've just been looking at kind of street view and all the homes. And the reason I asked you that question is I just want to be able to sit here and make the findings when it comes to that for the lot condition, which I feel like your response that the existing house is so far back from the street, which is unique condition, that it makes sense to build upon that. I think that's a fair response. For me, the biggest thing is actually the parapet and the massing, and that's kind of partially what's already existing. So I'm happy to hear that that's coming down. I don't know if there's room to bring it down more, but it's less about the total square footage for me in the FAR and more about the amount of plaster above the windows and in the corners, and how that to me creates more of the sense of massing from the street than necessarily adding it. And I actually think the way the third story is added, it is tucked in a little bit better. So I would say whether, and I know, the plate height is in the back, but certainly looking from the road above you down and studying the proportions of massing and how to play with that and still get the coverage you need for solar. And then also just how it reads from the street. I think on one side, there's an oak that kind of covers it, and it looks like, again, these street view, this is from May 2025. It's more current, but, if there was vegetation, if you had really mature vegetation covering it from the right side, again, it would be less visible. So that might be something to consider as well, like a longer term roadmap. But I don't think as is, I'm going to have an issue with some changes supporting this in the future. The number, again, isn't as important to me, but if there are little things you can do to play with bringing the height in the back down, or just improving the tall portions of plaster, that's what I would really appreciate to see, just again, when I'm thinking of mass bulk and scale and how it reads. So, and then just, maybe hard to say if the neighbors' concerns, private views aren't really in our purview, but at the same time, we have the public road above, and I think it just makes sense to work with neighbors. It sounds like you're not trying to block anyone's views and you're trying to be thoughtful in how you're citing it. So I would just encourage you to work together, and I don't know for us if there's something we want to require with that, but that would be my comments.
Okay. I agree with the other comments, and I think that for me, it's also not about it is and it isn't about the square footage. I can say it's not, but it's more about as Board Member Graffiti mentioned, it's more about the height. I think to propose a 10-foot plate height in a den when there's no other 10-foot plate heights in the house, and a parapet above that, I think there's a way to manage that mass in a more sensitive way to the site. And I know I heard you say you didn't really look at trying to keep it below 100%, but I think if the project did go to Planning Commission, I think that I can't believe they wouldn't ask that question. Like, did you try to keep the square footage below? And I'm not saying that we wouldn't approve a square footage of over 100%, but if you go back to the floor plan again, I think there's some creative ways, and I think you're really good at this, or I think you could be really good at this, Kirk, to
If I took some
get
lessons.
them an office space in their bedrooms and still get the square footage down a little bit. And it's more about not the width, it's more because I understand that the house was designed to support a third story. So I wouldn't ask you to like do a wedding cake type of a design. It's more about the massing from the street, and that's the neighborhood compatibility issue. It's that west bedroom, and Board Member Ruff also touched on it. And I think if that west bedroom wall and the patio could be brought back, there looks like a way to bring that back and still give a very generous office in both of those bedrooms, and it would contribute to a reduction in the massing of the third story. That in combination with the lowering of the plate on the north elevation, I think then it would be in a place where I could approve it. So, and I kind of hear that from the rest of the board too. It's just looking for ways to reduce the square footage so that the mass and the bulk and the scale could be an appropriate design for the neighborhood.
Yeah, we'll study that.
So, and I think that story poles would be, I'm hearing that story poles would probably still be an appropriate request for this project, but I don't know how the rest of the board feels.
Yeah, I agree.
I heard comments about mass, bulk, and scale, so the story poles would
Yeah.
somehow,
think
did you
if
say there
I-
were different levels of story poles?
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm okay if like there's a very descriptive site section through the
Yeah,
street
maybe.
above and the neighbor
And-
house. I'm
and-
okay with that, but
Yeah.
I'll see what the
Levels
other-
of story poles.
Yeah, so just to clarify what the board can waive and not waive. So again, automatically, just because we're already 100% FAR, already automatically full level story poles are required for all projects. So that's why we're here for concept, to look at
That's
the.
not what the planner says in the planning letter. It says that if we provide photo sims or alternative means of evaluation.
Correct, yeah, I wrote the letter. No, correct, yeah, I
just
I
wanted to
wrote
be
the letter.
clear.
Yeah, so, yeah, and you're right on the money, Kirk.
Thanks.
Yeah, 100%. So that's correct. So this full level, I'm just saying that in terms of requirements, unless the board waives it, full level is required, right? So the board can choose full level story poles, standard level story poles, or basic level, right? Or they can choose to waive it completely. So those are your options here.
I think it's more about the third story addition.
Uh-huh.
That's what
Yeah.
we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Well, could I comment?
Really quickly.
Yeah. We would like to provide additional section. We could also, I'm happy to meet with Mr. Dwally and take photographs from his house so you can evaluate or provide another photo sim if you think it would help. But I don't see how story poles are going to assist your evaluation of the project.
It depends on how much you reduce the mass, bulk, and scale.
Yeah.
So I think we can wait to make recommendations.
Yeah, it's only
based on-
concept,
So I
so-
think I think this would be a motion for an indefinite continuance back to the full board with the comment that the board, to reduce the plate height of the third story at the rear of at the north elevation area, and study ways of reducing the square footage that would increase the south elevation's third story setback and improve the visibility and create an increased setback of the third story. I'm so tired. In order to not see it as much. How do you say that?
Not as
In a
visible.
really eloquent way. Reduce the massing of the third story by bringing the south elevation patio and west bedroom back from the front of the residence.
I'll second that. Oh, sorry.
That's it, yeah. Under discussion.
Under discussion,
Yeah.
can we ask the applicant to provide that site section and additional photos from the north neighbor or the street above like complete their section that they already have.
Yeah, for the applicant
For
to return
clarity.
with a site section that includes the neighboring
Mass Balkan, like the mass of the neighbor
neighbor's
and the dimensions, distances.
property. That includes the north neighbor's property in the site section, even though it's right on the edge. So, that you said. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Okay, that's any more discussion?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think one item that would be helpful in the minutes for the applicant, just based on the discussion, was supportability of the floor area exception, just having a motion in there that the
We're
board
not going to
finds.
mention that because we've asked him to reduce it.
Okay,
We've
okay,
already-
got
I
it.
mean, we've addressed it by asking him to reduce it, so we can't support
Okay.
it right now.
Okay.
Because we're looking for ways to reduce it by bringing the front yard setback of the third story back to reduce the mass
Understood.
Vulcan scale.
Understood. Okay, thank you
Does
for
that
the
make sense?
clarification. Yes, that makes sense. Would it be possible for the board to include just an extra comment for reference in the minutes? Just so that when I do send them to the applicant, it's in there that these are required in order to help with the finding for the FAR exceptions?
The comment would be at the beginning of the first motion, it would be in order for the board to determine whether the exception for the floor area ratio to exceed 100%, it's actually relative to the second comment about the square footage of pulling the second story or the third story back is relative to the second comment, not the first one. The first one was about
Okay.
the height.
Okay.
The second one was in order for the board to.
Got it, okay, yeah.
To make a determination on the appropriateness of the exception, the board would like to see a revised floor plan that reduces the third level and further sets the third level back from the existing development to improve the mass Vulcan scale.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
So I'm assuming that if he does that, then he won't need an FAR exception because it will be close to
don't know
100%.
yet.
We don't know.
Might be 2%.
It might be
We don't know
2%,
yet,
okay.
It might
Yeah.
be not 7%.
Yeah,
so we'll
it'll be
see.
close
we're
enough.
making-
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Thank you for the clarification.
Okay, we will take a vote.
Should I second that?
You should vote.
I'll second that.
Yeah, I made the motion.
Okay. Board Member Rolfe?
What am I saying yes to?
My motion.
Oh, your
You
motion,
seconded
yes,
it.
yes. Sorry.
We're all tired.
It's
6 o'clock.
I know. Yes.
Board Member Mosley?
Yes.
Chair Sherry?
Yes.
Board Member Graffiti?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you all.
And that concludes the full board meeting for the single family design board. Have a nice evening, everyone.
Thank you all.